Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 9 of Disco Elysium, the game that every single time we start it up, I think that we'll probably be playing for an hour, maybe 90 minutes, maybe even do a second game, and then I invariably get completely looped into it and find it very difficult to stop playing. As of the last episode, we are midway through Wednesday. We had crossed the waterlock into the western reaches of the city and found a crashed car, which I started to believe, and then was subsequently proven correct, was actually the vehicle driven by our character prior to the start of the game. And much like so many of his other decisions, it didn't work out so well, and now that car is midway into sort of an icy lake or something, and isn't ever going to be coming out. But on the plus side, we did find our badge, and we're able to get some experience points for that. Apologies, everybody. The chat window that we used decided to get very, very odd. So let me just restart that, and we'll be jumping in here in just a moment. Now, one other quick note before we jump in. We are testing out some brand new stream settings. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it has not escaped our notice that as we're walking around, there's a little bit of a hitch in the animation, one that is not visible on screen, and we've been trying to quietly solve that in the background. If the changes that we put into place are worse than before, we might sort of rapidly abort and jump back in and, undo those changes. But with all of those intros out of the way, let's jump back into the world of Disco Elysium and see where the investigation takes us. All right, let me just move around here a little bit. All right, now that looks a little bit hitchier for me. I can't tell if there's any difference on the stream. Can you just open that up a little bit? Let me just run back and forth very quickly. I'd say it looks about the same. If others come in and say that it's worse, we might bounce out. But, okay, enough problem solving for now. Let's take a quick look here. It's giving me the, you've got some stuff in here button. That's right, I think I read that. Oh, that's right, we can do karaoke, and we'll probably do that tonight. Hello to Mia! And why is this messed up again? Sorry, everybody. The chat window is being weird. Okay, and as Mia's noting, we're only about 3 minutes into the stream. What was here? Is that where my bag was? Probably. All right, let's check our journal. Run the number on the victim's armor. Call Alice back in a day for info on the armor's owner. That's right, we complimented Alice and said that she did an excellent job running down the serial number for us. She wants to do more than just sort of answer the radio, and hopefully our character was a good encouragement for that. Anything else that we have to do? Nope. Our other updates are all in the done pile, which is fine. Okay. And then... Right. Okay, so... at the edge of the map, pure trigonometry, etc. To where does it go? I was feeling really confident in our decision to continue maxing out the various personality traits and to leave the thought cabinet back a little bit until we got this one. The Jamais Vu one, which you never know what a thought is going to do. Hello to Pasta McDartboard! Pasta, I really hope that you're having a great week so far. It's Thursday, tomorrow's Friday. Here, we're basically counting down to the vacation we're going to take at the start of July, and boy, am I looking forward to it. But I hope that you are doing well, and well, Pasta, if the weather is nearly as nice where you are as it is here, I hope that you have an opportunity to enjoy it. Jamais Vu here gives us an extra experience point for every orb clicked, which is basically just looking at the world, which is awesome. And if there's any other thoughts that do that, chat, please do not spoil anything or tell me about that. But whoa, I want to learn all of this stuff now, just in case there's something like that. But I don't think we have to worry about that. So yeah, as we're moving around, if the sort of judderiness of moving around is any worse than in the previous streams, let us know, and we might go back. But I've tried to make some adjustments. Okay, so What did we want to do next? Let's take a look. So we can get the whole story from Titus, convince the Hardy Boys to tell you the whole story, but I think that in order to do that, we need to have an extra point in suggestion, or let's actually look on our map in a second. Ask Klasia for about Sunday night. We want to do that after Kim is in bed, so we'll go take a look at that. Question her about the autopsy. After doing the autopsy, yep. Armored gloves, armored pieces, boots, getting the body down. Access the harbor and ask for Everard Clare's help. I really don't know why he would ever help us. Oh no, it's been storming all week. Yeah, more than Amiya, her home had some really severe electrical damage, which is very disappointing because it cut off her ability to stream on both Tuesday and Wednesday, and Friday at this moment is a big question mark. Okay, yeah, let's go find Morel. I feel like there's one other thing that we were going to do. We can't do that, and that. Yeah, okay. I feel like there was something else that I was thinking that we were going to try to do in the Whirling in Rags, and I do not remember what it was when we were heading over. So, let's go back to the west, cross the waterlock, which I think is actually up here. Oh, wait. Hold on. I want to come back here because, as we know, that gives us an experience points.
What have we here?
A bridge?
A bridge with loose nails and rot-infested wood that creaks in the wind. A construction code violation if there ever was one.
Okay, I guess we'll talk about it to Kim. I cannot, like, what are we going to do? Cite the people that did this? It's like a hastily constructed thing. I don't know. Kim, okay, construction code violation?
Sure. They never cleaned up the war damage. The rest of Revachol looks better, though.
Okay, now I'm super lame. I guess I'm putting points to lame cop now. But Lieutenant, think of the splinters.
The bridge is fine enough. Locals use it all the time, after all. It's nothing to worry about. Shall we?
All right, maybe maybe I could have unlocked a thought cabinet if I'd said that I'm a Revacholian badass or something. This is not the right way. Oh, wait. You know what else we found? We found some extra paint, and I'm wondering if What's-Her-Face wants it.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
Let me ask about what you're doing to the wall. Maybe that'll, maybe I can give her the fuel can that we found.
Can't you tell? I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right one. Yeah?
Okay.
Thanks.
She means you've lessened her desire to deface the building.
Oh, well, maybe because I said that, that's why she doesn't want the paint can. All right, bye, Cindy. Hello to Grumpy. Grumpy, I hope that you're also having a nice Thursday. I'm trying to remember how to get west because we are looking for Lena's missing husband. Was it further to the south? I think it was. Oh, Centrifugal Force was apparently in the area with the eclipse. She says, eclipse today, congrats to anybody. Oh, maybe she wasn't, because she's saying congrats to anyone who got to catch the eclipse. West is the opposite of east. Yes, and a big issue that comes up for me in games all of the time, as well as in real life, is that for some reason I confuse east and west. The number of times that I have in real life and in games, I don't think, did we go over here? I don't feel like we looked at this stuff yet. In games and in real life, headed determinedly east while saying, I'm going to do this correctly, I'm heading west. Ooh, magnesium. Let's look at this. It is embarrassing. Traffic beyond the gate, more abandoned motor lorries. The sign says no entry. Somebody scribbled an inverted star on it. Now, didn't we find out something about the meaning of the inverted star? I am forgetting what that something was. All right, we have a postcard we can sell. And tools. I think if we equip the pry bar, we might be able to get this thing open. Ooh, hold on. Jamrock Biker Cop Sunnies. So +1 empathy, -1 logic. Okay, how does that average out for us? So we would lose a point in logic, take us down to 4, but we'd gain a point in empathy to take us up to 6. Well, I do need high empathy to try to empathize with Kuno. I don't actually want to do that, but I think that's one of the things that we're trying to do. Path of Totality, says Forrest, for the Eclipse was nowhere near where she lives. And Mia's here saying hello to everybody. Mia, thank you so much for doing the shoutouts and stuff. Okay. Oh, wait, I have a point to spend. When did that happen? Do I want to spend it now? Probably. What? No, revert. Hold on. I accidentally spent on this, and that's not what I meant to do. So, I was kind of working up suggestion because it's another, like, ability to do things. But before I commit to that, hold on a second. Let me go out to the map. Where's the map? Right here, because... So, I want to try some of these whitelists, so I would need Encyclopedia, Electrochemistry. What is this one, by the way? I don't remember. Yeah, Kuno requires Legendary Empathy. Savoir-faire. I would love to get the cloak. I really would, because I bet it's got some good stats attached to it as well. Box of sunglasses, conceptualization, reaction speed, composure. Titus. Okay, so I would need godly rhetoric. That's what I'm trying to get up to. Oh, I can go do the map wall, I think, again. And a padlocked door. Does anybody remember where this is? I have no memory where this is. Padlocked door. All right, we'll have to go head over there pretty soon. Mia's doing her best at the shoutouts from her phone. Yeah, again, the internet is down. So thank you very, very much. But no worries if it becomes cumbersome. So the most important thing, I think, is to rhetoric Titus around to our way of thinking. So if I wanted to do some rhetoric, that would be the important thing. You know what? Let's hit it. All right, so we will keep that in mind moving forward. I would also like to stop making this horrid expression. I think that's for some reason an encyclopedia roll on the mirror, but we'll take a look at that. Okay, so I sort of looked around this area, and then we found something that was very exciting. We decided to run all the way back to the others. So I want to finish looking at this area. Do we have any idea what this is prompting me to look at? The map. Oh, look at this gas. Wow. Ooh, I take it back. Putting a point into this gave us a whole bunch of things that we can do. Sealang? Yeah, we're going to have a lot of conversations when we go back east. And for a change, I mean back east. So, a quick question for anybody who happens to be in chat. I saw that a Ninja Gaiden... like collection just came out on PC, and also that it's getting really unsteady reviews. Hold on one second. Sounds of life in the north. A washboard scrubs filth from fabric. Okay, so somebody's washing their clothes. Let's check out some of this stuff. This is the first person that we've seen over here. Cinder blocks, charred, a makeshift fire pit with magazines for lighting. The bushes are too thick and thorny to pass through. Oh, can I go get those? Hold on, let me check this out first.
The worn and beaten wooden planks of the bench do not look overly comforting.
We can sit on benches after we've solved the murder. Let's go.
There's some money or something here on the ground, and from what I've seen, the world of Disco Elysium is extremely permissive towards... Sorry, I just saw... Hello to Guinness, who comes in saying, fuck Elden Ring. That is a high reference to Patikan's stream, because Patikan is 100% over Elden Ring. I have to say that I personally have basically no opinion on Elden Ring whatsoever. It seems like a game that I am not going to play at all. Why would I want +1 to Kingdom of Conscience? What does that even get me? When am I ever rolling on Kingdom of Conscience stuff? I mean, that's that is what I am, but I don't know. I feel pretty good about my mesh tank top, bow tie, black police commander's outfit, and blue jeans. Let's just see what it looks like at least. Huh? I'm okay with the color scheme. What am I losing here? A point of... So I'm gaining a point of reaction speed, losing a point of electrochemistry that I don't actually care that much about, and getting some Kingdom of Conscience. All right. I can dig it.
These are some wonderfully regular pants. Not too tight, not too loose, moderate in every sense. You'll blend right in at some pleasant dinner party.
I'm getting shaded by Volition. I like regular, normal things.
I know you do. These Inter-Estellari pants are like wearing a perfect compromise in your nether regions. No one will call the moral intern on you like this, that's for sure.
Well, Volition, I don't give a shit if anybody calls the moral intern on me or not. Guinness Por Vito says, did you see the new Tiny Tina game? So excited. I will be more excited once I know a little bit more about it, because there was a time when I would have fallen head over heels for something like Borderlands 3, and then when it came out, it had like sort of an unsteady reception. I adored the Tiny Tina content in Borderlands 2. I thought that it was one of the better DLCs that they put out for that, and that's really saying something. But I feel like a lot of the creative team that was responsible for the things that I most liked in Borderlands 2 have rolled over to other projects or either other companies, and I don't feel like the current development team have earned the same degree of faith just yet. So I am tentatively optimistic about it, because I feel like if they take some of the gunplay stuff that we saw in Borderlands 3 but do better quality and better sort of like considered writing, then I'll be much more about it. Because let's face it, I feel like the writing and the humor in the Borderlands games are very, very important, and if they get it wrong, which is, I haven't played Borderlands 3, but that's sort of like what I feel like was the gist of that game. It's the old thing about, like, a bad horror movie can be funny, but a bad comedy movie is just torture. It's awful. And that was what I heard a lot about Borderlands 3. It wants so hard to be funny and irreverent, and it's just kind of generally obnoxious. Anybody can have a misstep. Maybe that'll be the Borderlands misstep, and the Tiny Tina game will be fantastic. For sure, here's hoping. And Moo just resubscribed. Moo, thank you so much. 6 months. Wow. God, it doesn't feel like nearly that long, Moo. Thank you so, so much. Okay, so Mia is saying, I saw Elden Ring trending on Twitter. Why do we care about it? Because Elden Ring is made by the game designer who has brought us Demon Souls and the Dark Souls and Bloodborne franchise, and is reportedly written or co-written or has story ideas by George R.R. Martin, who, I know Mia knows this, but just in case anybody else doesn't, is the person who occasionally talks about writing Game of Thrones, and maybe someday he will consider doing that. You know, I'm not going to tell him how to live his life. Okay, without getting too far off track, we have very regular pants here.
A little more moralist now, buddy. A little more normal, even if you didn't want to be.
So here's the thing about being normal in a game like this. I feel like if people think you're normal, it gives you way more opportunities to be deviant behind their backs. You see dust-covered linens, dried tulips on a bed. Last time we found a flower, it seemed like a big deal. Oh, wait, what? Quick travel exists in the game. Wait, how do you even quick travel? It told me I've unlocked a quick travel point. Can you click on the map? Whoa! Okay. I assume that ate up time, or didn't it? Let's try that again. It's 12:19. That's how we learned that quick travel exists. Okay, so I'm going to travel here. It's 12:19. Oh, fun. Okay, so we can sort of teleport around. Also, this is not where I was standing before I quick traveled, and now I don't know where I was. Hold on a second. Okay, all right, I'm picking it up. Now I know where we were. We're gonna go take a look at this. Okay, so very quickly, Guinness is saying, well, I am a Borderlands fanboy through and through. Slap a Vault logo on a dried up cow pie, and I'll probably buy it just the way it is for me. Now, here's the thing. For everything, this is very important in my view. For everything I just said about Borderlands 3, I haven't actually played it. And we do own it. Like, it came up on sale at some point that was apparently a good enough deal that one of the two of us grabbed it. And I really liked what I saw when Chivalry was playing for the Extra Life Marathon last year. I thought the gameplay looked, like the actual gunplay, the moment-to-moment stuff, looked awesome. So it is entirely possible. White curtains have been drawn shut, no looking in. That once I actually try Borderlands 3 for myself, I will absolutely love it as well. A wetting stone, well-worn and covered in rust. Just taking a look around the world. Yeah, I have had many games where the popular opinion was that it was awesome, and I did not care for them at all. And at least a good handful of games where everybody else was like, it's okay. And I was like, this is awesome. I love it so much. So I would love to be as enthusiastic about Borderlands 3 as I was about 2. Construction material. Whoever planned to build this home left in a hurry. Money. Good. We need $20 to pay off our hotel bill tonight. Before I talk to this person who's saying whatever that is, Guinness Porvito is saying, I loved Borderlands 3. I think the unfair reviews wanted it to be Borderlands 2 enhanced, but it's a different game. I appreciate the direction they went and enjoyed it as its own game. Didn't spend the whole time comparing it to 2. Yeah, and that's also very important. Like, sometimes you have a game that's sort of like living in the shadow of something else. That's what happened for me in Bully. Bully was not a sequel, but for me, it was coming up in the shadow of Persona 3, a completely different game from a totally different developer with a wildly different scope and tone. So when I first went into Rockstar's game Bully, I was not enjoying it as much as I hoped, and it was only about maybe a third of the way through that I really started to greet it on its own terms, and then turned around and really liked Bully from there. Forrest is saying, did you know that an A&W cream soda has 153% of your daily sugar? How God fit that many carbs into such a small bottle? Yeah, spun sugar is a hell of a drug. Oh, and Moo says, is Borderlands 3 the ones where grenades can go up? And then he's clarifying that that's more than a Mia jab. Okay, let's talk with this person who's just sort of minding their own business. The woman next to a bucket of clothes hums an odd melody, which appears to be Frere Jacques. Her eyes are closed.
You're not sure about the melody, but it might be South Samaran, possibly Sigayan, also known as the apricot suzerainty.
Hello to Samalander, who says, we don't take any jabs at Mia here. No, I guess all the jabs are saved for Mia's own streams. But always good-natured. I mean, that's what makes it a fun time.
Welcome to the fishing village. Please lean in closer. I have cataracts.
Okay, so we are going to lean forward. If you can't see how Juno is here, well, she can hear you crunching around on the pavement with your big green shoes. Lean forward.
Oh. Welcome, police officer. We don't cause any trouble around here. And we don't want any trouble either.
We are not here to cause any trouble, madame.
What he said. We're cops, we don't cause trouble, we take care of trouble.
Oh, of course. Last time we saw you around here was 12 years ago. You also came to take care of trouble then. Wish you did. But still, in Martinez, you're considered an ill omen.
Okay, I don't feel like she's talking about me personally. That feels like a comment about police in general. Also, you know what else makes me feel like an ill omen? Me carrying around a crowbar with my big, like, rubber work gloves or whatever those are. What kind of an ill omen are we talking about? And then we've got a couple options. So, let me say, I don't think it's true that I've been here before.
No, not you personally. I meant the RCM. Some of the men got into a fight. One of them killed another, locked himself in that woodshed over there.
She points to the building behind her, so probably this one up at the top of the screen?
He was brooding, needed some help opening the door. You got it open for him, and took him to think about what he'd done in a more secluded place, somewhere more quiet.
She says it as if he was on some kind of spiritual retreat.
All right, so what kind of ill omen are we talking about here with the police being present?
Oh, the usual. Dark tidings. Black hound.
That's you, all right. A black hound licking your own heels.
That's an image. Also, Forrest is saying I was measuring out dyes and got a wash of relief and wondered out of nowhere, I wonder what my future partner is doing right now. It was nice. Well, that's awesome. And that... You know, I want to continue with the conversation here in the game, but yeah, you, when I was growing up, my parents were always together. They were just with one another, and it never really occurred to me who they had been before they met each other, and that there was a significant percentage of their lives that they didn't know each other and hadn't been together, and that they had other friends and other wishes and other people that they dated. And yeah, you never know who's out there right now and what they're doing right this moment, that destiny, kismet, random chance is going to bring you guys together. So yeah, it's fun to think about that sometimes. I am an ill omen, all right. I'm not going to say that. If I'm considered an ill omen, why hasn't anyone told me that? Yeah, I like that one better.
Maybe they are afraid.
Why?
Because you're an ill omen. But you're still welcome here. As long as men with guns aren't chasing you. And maybe even then. Because that's the kind of fishing village we've built. I'm sorry there's not a lot of room to park the motor carriage, and not a lot of houses, or a lot of people. My kids are long gone, searching for treasure. So are others. Ah, look at me ramble on. What brings you to us?
So we could ask where someone would stay around here. That feels like a good way to start asking after Lena's husband. So let's see. I'm going to say first, what is in this fishing village?
Just us. It's barely a village anymore. We almost don't exist.
What do you mean?
This is pretty much a non-place. A gap. A blank spot on the map. Just a cluster of nameless shacks on a nameless street.
Sam is saying, can someone find some food for me? Mia could probably hunt some up. I bet that Mia could, like, take that slingshot and just, like, knock a squirrel directly onto your plate.
The place is so pornographically poor, it's not even funny.
So, why would I say this to her? Like, you can have a thought and not verbalize it. I am not going to say to this woman that her place is pornographically poor. She knows that. Why would I point it out to her? So, there's got to be something here. Tell me. That's a little bit abrupt. Who else lives in this village?
Well, there's Lillian and her kids. A few new folks live in the house to the east, but they're away right now.
She nods her head across the courtyard.
And then there's the drunks. Not a pretty sight, but there's little we can do about it. Home is home, even for them.
What drunks? I'm not really interested in town drunks, but thanks. My character is extremely interested in drunks. They're his best friends.
Sooner or later, you'll see for yourself. Don't have to look long to find these guys.
She slowly shakes her heads. There's got to be something here. Tell me.
Over there, you can find more of the same. Shacks and trees growing wild. That's the pox.
The pox? What's that?
An old military hospital and its surroundings. Or it used to be, during the time of the suzerain. After the war, it was turned into a goodwill hospital for shell-shock veterans and folks looking for some quiet in the old sanatorium gardens. Now the area is crisscrossed with nameless streets and makeshift cinder block houses. Shacks as far as the eye can see.
So, this is sort of like a language question. Is there a distinction between a sanitarium and a sanatorium? Or is it just a slightly different word based on regional dialect that means the same thing? Because I've not previously come across a sanatorium before. What happened to the hospital?
The goodwill ran out. The staff left and the place was shut down. It's long gone by now.
Encyclopedia Samalander, or whatever, Encyclosamalanderpedia. I don't know. I can't say it the way that Mia does. Is right on the spot saying it's just a spelling difference. Also, Moo is asking, wait, squirrels have knockers, and Mia's saying the females do? Yes, especially if they are playing basketball in the new Space Jam movie. No, actually, that's not fair. The new Space Jam movie is the one that dialed that back. Call it the original Space Jam movie. I'm sure that they had squirrel knockers galore. Is there a way to make a little money around here? Yeah, does anybody, like, leave bottles around? Or maybe I could earn $12 doing something?
Here, for you? No, officer. The only money we have here is some coins the drunks tried hiding from their women and then forgot about.
Well, I'll get those then. So, I'm just not going to say this. It seems so heartless. This place is so pornographically poor. Like, if it was just this place is really poor, that would be something. But pornographically, it sounds like... Have you guys ever heard of this horrific practice that some people do called, like, disaster tourism, where there's, like, some sort of, like, societal strife or, like, a giant hurricane or, like, tornadoes go through, and they go there to, like, basically tour the site, not to help out, mind you, just to gawp at it and maybe get out of their cars and, like, mime like they are, like, picking up bricks or something and get some photographs that they can put up on their Instagram and then just leave. Like, when you see a picture on social media of somebody helping out a disaster site, I would like to believe that 99% of the time it's not one of those people, and yet those people exist, and I've seen accounts of it, and I've seen footage of the way that they behave, and it's... That's what comes to my mind walking through an economically depressed area like this and having a conversation option about how it's pornographically poor. So we are not going to say that. There's a different topic I'd like to address.
Rinsing another piece of cloth.
Okay, where could somebody stay around here? We're looking for Lena's husband.
Stay? Most people here are trying to leave.
Oh, hello to Psycho. Psycho, I hope you're having a great afternoon. And that was a lot of fun watching the Summer Games Festival show with Patikin and Tashir today, wasn't it? I really had a good time with that.
That said, if lodgings is what you're looking for, I've got a free room in the shack.
Her soapy thumb points to the building behind her. Well, this might be cheaper. I'd be okay with it, personally. How much is it?
I won't charge you for it. Take it as a gesture of goodwill from the village to the RCM.
No way. I don't care if it's $5, but we're paying something for this. I'm not sure it's appropriate for the RCM to accept free accommodations. You're just giving it to me. No. Look, there's only one option to take it.
No one is using it, and God knows it's not much anyway. You can stay there.
She tilts her head on the side, pondering over something. There's other people that are more poor than my character is. They don't have jobs. They don't have any sort of, like, support. I'm going to ask if it's I really want to pay something for it.
Oh, don't. It's your choice. No skin off my teeth.
I guess I'll ask why no one is using the room, even though she said that her children have all left and it was probably one of theirs.
My kids grew up and left like they do. The house is long empty now. I live in the small side attachment. It's easier and cheaper to keep warm.
Psycho is also coming in with the fuck Elden Ring hashtag. Yeah, I think that's going to be a big thing between now and when the game comes out. Yeah, Patikin is so over that. Like, at some point we should talk about what happened and why, but yeah, he and Tashir were, actually mostly Tashir, were talking about like, hey, what is the threshold to get a phrase trending on Twitter? Because they were all about it. You got yourself a tenant. I don't want a free room. Oh, no. Why can't I pay her something? I can just have the room?
Aye. The room is pretty bare bones, but it's got a bed and roof over it. That's more than some folks have around here.
When Varson communist revolutionary Ignas Nielsen was in hiding, he stayed in a hut on the Boreal Plateau for 10 months.
So our options are, it would help me stay in touch with the proletariat. It could be the first chapter of my rags to riches moment. Now is the real Revacholian hospitality. That nope. So again, I haven't really made any attempt to keep up on the various like fake racist stuff that's in here, but I do remember that Kipt was in there somewhere. I don't remember exactly what it means, but we're not saying that. Unfortunately, the incremental development hasn't elevated this neighborhood yet. I see potential here. Well, that's my moral intern comment. We're going to go with, it would help me stay in touch with the proletariat, because for some damn reason, my character has been trending communist.
You best not be plotting another revolution under my roof. We barely got through the last one. But the room, do you want it?
Okay, so here's the thing. I would love to give her something, and maybe that will be an option coming up, but let's think about it. Am I going to continue to pay $20 a day to stay at the Whirling in Rags, which I might add is not a particularly nice place, if I can stay here for free and save that money up for books or clothing or other things that would be extremely helpful? Cigarettes, for example. I'm going to go with the new home.
Don't make an old woman regret opening her house to the place.
A key appears from under her apron. She hands it to you.
Well, if you are not in the hostel in the morning, I'll know where to find you. Here, in a shack.
He looks around.
He's a little relieved you're no longer in that room. Should he? This environment encourages one thing, and one thing only. Drinking.
I don't think that's true, Volition. I think that this also is going to encourage use of the speed that I picked up. What's further down the coast?
Not much. There's the abandoned church, the DeLorean Church of Humanity. It's been there since before my time, even.
Why is it abandoned?
Some things just don't fly, officer. Look around. Who'd go to church here? They built it 300 years ago. Must have been nicer then.
There's something happening with the lighting in the background. Notice how it gets like brighter and darker sometimes?
So, they don't hold services there anymore? The Ecclesiastes?
No, we've tried, but things just keep happening. Crime, accidents, other things. The place never stays open. It's a pity. It used to be such a nice church.
She's not telling you all she knows. Keep her talking.
Okay. I would love this to be, like, it's weird that when empathy says something, this feels so confrontational. I get the feeling you're leaving stuff out. What else is going on? Like, I'm not going to say that, but...
Well, there's that music. Music from across the sea. Huh. It started a few days ago, and now it's blasting, even through the night. And now, suspicious-looking people are sneaking around the church. I don't like that.
Oh, this sounds like it might be a case.
Interesting. You could look into this ruckus if you have the time.
I certainly can make the time logic. What else is on down coast? What else is on down coast? Okay.
Before you get to the church, there's some ruins, an apartment complex, or some kind of electrical plant. Run-down bunch of houses, empty.
Which is it then, apartments or electrical plant?
I don't know exactly. A pre-war place. It used to be something. Before the war. I wasn't here then, you know. Was born in Samara.
So I'm wondering if it's both, because if I remember the history of this area, they tried to build like a low yield nuclear reactor to provide free electricity to everybody, and there was some sort of like severe leak. So that could be the electrical plant that she's thinking of, and maybe she just doesn't have the whole story. Anything else of note?
Of note? The old fish market up on the boardwalk. But it's closed.
Who'd want to come to this... Again, phrasing, but who'd want to come to a fish market here?
No one. That's why it's closed. It was once a bustling place, back when I was young, and so was everyone else. Now, what catch we do bring in goes straight into a lorry for the Delta or somewhere else.
Is there anything else along the coast?
What? You're one of those real estate people with big plans? If you want a development opportunity, you can check out the abandoned building over at Land's End. Used to be a supply depot, we think, sending goods and ammo across the bay. It's jammed shut though. We tried to get in, see if there was anything to sell or scavenge, but it's impossible. And now you know everything there is to know about this coast.
She drops a bar of soap into the bucket with a splash. You know what just occurred to me? I'm so glad that we didn't, ever pay our Whirling and Rags bill in advance. It never occurred to me that I'd find a different place to stay. I always assumed that was going to be the, sort of the central hub for the entire game, and that it was sort of like an incentive for you to go out and explore, like an implied reward that, hey, you got to bring in at least $20 a day, and here we are, we have a new place to stay that's free. But we didn't waste $20. I didn't have $20 to waste, but yeah, that worked out. It's why I don't ever put heal myself up unless it's important or I need to. Tell me about yourself, washerwoman. Who exactly are you here? She's just somebody minding her laundry.
Me? No one. Just an old washerwoman. Mother called me Isabel, if that's what you're asking. And my married name is Sadie. Now it's your turn, Mr.
She has been so forthcoming to me. Why wouldn't I tell her? I'd leave off the rank, but let's go ahead and give her the name.
What a handle you got there. So many titles. One of them double.
She's got a couple of ranks herself. Honored chief and so on.
Okay, well, I guess that's it. All right, so we got a real lay of the land here from her. Yes, thank you, autosave. Let's see what else we can find. Yes. Boy, finding money is even more... I feel like the music here is very loud. You can't see into the house from this angle. I'll go in there later. No, I won't. I'm going to go in there right now.
The door has seen better days. The layer of paint has started to peel off due to the salt and wind from the sea. Even the lock looks slightly rusted.
Okay, never mind. We'll go check that out a lot later in the day. We'll have plenty of opportunity to go look at that. It's going to be where we stay. The street sign is illegible below the graffito. Oh, hold on. We've got some people to interact with.
The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone. He can't be more than 5 years old. He watches his brother kick the stone with his tongue lolling out of his mouth.
Wait, I have Lillian's twin and Lillian's other twin. What? Is neither of them Lillian? Where's your mom?
The kids don't reply, absorbed in their little game.
I can't imagine that telling them something they already know is going to draw their attention.
The stone-kicking one becomes frantic all of a sudden, as if that's something to be scared of. The obvious fact that you just stated.
He looks just like me.
The other one says. Yeah, I said that. Also... Oh, I didn't see this before. Force says, today someone broke a mercury thermometer and the cleanup process is arduous. Anyways, I had gotten some stools and tape to cordon off the area. A small crowd gathered as I rolled the tape around the stools. My professor said, this is just practice for a future career. Of sort of cordoning off disaster sites? Is that the path that you're on? It's important work, but also, oh boy, what a... I am always amazed that people can throw themselves into bleak situations because they know that they can make it better and they know that somebody needs to make it better. But boy, traveling from one like environmental disaster zone to another, what a... Boy, I don't think that I could do that for very long. I feel like just the pressure of it and seeing people cavalierly destroy large tracts of land or whatever. Anyway, I said that.
The boy doesn't answer. His brother throws another rock. Both of their hair is covered in some kind of dirt.
Oh, crime scene analysis. That's right. I should have put that together.
You're bad with kids.
The lieutenant remarks with evident glee. Lieutenant, that is not my fault. I have so much empathy and suggestion and visual calculus. And what are you, Kid Master General? It's impossible to be good with kids. They're too stupid. No, I am bad with kids.
Don't worry, everyone is. How about we do some police work now? We're not getting anything here.
Okay, I do like the word scruffian, but bye, kids. All right. Now, just in case, I want to talk to the other one, because I clicked on the right one before.
The scruffy-haired little boy
Nope.
kicks...
Okay. Hard to see the details. The colors, all warm and welcoming, are cozy, though. A flower trough where nothing really grows, maybe in spring. Well, spring's coming up. It's like March in the game. Force is saying, yeah, dunk on those kids. Put them in their place. I would have liked to dunk on Kuno a lot more. I'll tell you that. Hello to Patikin. Patikin, we were just saying a short time ago, fuck Elden Ring. And also, it was really fun to watch the Summer Games Fest with you and Tashir today. Ruffled grouse taxidermy. Okay. Oh, you know what? Maybe we can give this to, Gart. And I see that the lieutenant is just phasing through solid matter, but bye. But see you later.
Hello, mister.
A young girl, barely 4 or 5 years old, sits on the sofa. She's looking at you with frank curiosity.
She clutches a small stuffed animal. Occasionally, she twirls it around.
I heard there's a girl here who has armored gloves. Is that you? Wow, I wasn't putting... I knew that we were sort of generally looking for it. Where are your parents? Are the twins outside your brothers? Show her the stuffed bird you took from the ceiling. Yeah, I didn't realize there was another person here when I did that. What's that you're holding? Okay, let's start with where are your parents?
My mom's outside. And I don't really know about my dad.
She gives you a bright smile like it's a good thing. Well, depending on the dad, it might be a good thing. Are the twins outside your brothers?
Yes. They don't want to play with me. They're older and play outside. They look the same. Sometimes I can't tell them apart.
They look identical, right? I said the same thing.
They look identical.
Let's see. Okay, so I feel like we've been friendly. I heard there was a girl here who has armored gloves. Is that you?
Oh, I had gloves. Very big ones. Heavy, too.
Where did you get these gloves?
Found them when Lemmy and I were playing hide and seek. In an empty house. Where no one lives. I think someone hid them there.
She doesn't want you to think she stole them.
I don't think that she stole them. And where are the gloves now?
I hid them. The twins were going to take them. They're stupid.
She lifts her stuffed toy up and looks into its one remaining eye as though searching for confirmation.
We are going to need those gloves. It's for important police business.
He enunciates the last two words carefully.
Oh.
She doesn't seem to understand, but the lieutenant's tone has conveyed to her the important part.
They're in my sandcastle. Behind our house. Under the sand. You can break the castle. It's not very good.
Well, that's kind. I remember growing up, like when I was growing up, one of the like things that bullies would do is they'd come over and like kick over your sandcastles at the beach. And even though we didn't go to the beach really all that often, I remember just being like so confused and like, it really bothered me, the idea that somebody would look at somebody else just sort of doing something and smash something they'd worked on. It was something like smashing pumpkins at not the band, like Smashing Pumpkins at Halloween. Like the idea that like people would go around houses, grab the jack-o'-lanterns that they had carved with their families and like put the little candles in and whatever, that they would take that and like smash it on the pavement. It's just such a weird, random, hateful thing to do. And I remember like really being afraid that somebody would do that to our jack-o'-lanterns, because I love those things. Like we put so much time into them. They were never very good. It's nothing like you see on some people's, but they meant something to me, something to our family. It never actually happened, but I remember that. So I'm glad that we're allowed to like kick over a sandcastle, because I wouldn't want to do that without her go ahead. So I'm going to show her the stuffed bird. What is this?
It's a grouse.
Smiling broadly.
You might be able to get on Gart's good side if you make up for the skewer you broke.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Suggestion. Can I have it? I know someone who really likes stuffed birds.
Sure. I mean, you already took it. I don't like it anyway. It looks angry.
All right. And what's the toy you're holding?
It's Lammy. He's my friend. Sort of.
She
Like...
She holds the fuzzy beast up to demonstrate.
Lambie is a stuffed lamb that, admittedly, has seen better days. One of the eye buttons is missing, and the fur is tattered in several parts.
I like this. Lambie looks soft.
Yes. Very soft.
You guys, she wants me to like nuzzle her toy, and one of my options is I don't deserve it, I'm scum. Maybe I'm just not in the mindset, at least not right now, of someone who is that self-loathing, but no, that is not an appropriate interaction or thing to say to a 4 or 5-year-old. Press your cheek against Lambie.
Isn't he soft?
She's right, Lambie is very soft. She rubs the white fur against your cheek, then returns the lamb onto her lap, cuddling it. Moo or Groomfy, if your kids ever ask you to interact with their stuffed animals, can you do me a favor and just say, no, I don't deserve it. I am scum. I'm just curious what their reactions are going to be. Don't do that, because I feel like that's something that a kid might like take seriously, and it seems... Don't do it. Okay, goodbye.
Bye.
The little girl's large, curious eyes remain fixed on you. Well, they're going to remain fixed on me while I take an experience point out of her oven. Industrial coal pellets burn with an orange glow. And Kim has decided to do his best Phasmo victim. Sam Lander says, their reactions, at least 5 more years in therapy. Oh gosh, did Psycho leave? Gotta take off for the night, catch you all tomorrow. Psycho, thank you so much for stopping by. And hopefully, I'll say this, I would love to be able to toss to Psycho, at least once in my life, be able to raid over. So, we have items, and we've got this grouse. Yeah, we're definitely not selling it. The dead body of a grouse stuffed with some unknown material. From a distance, it might just pass off as the real thing. The bird looks extremely ruffled and slightly grumpy. Find the armored gloves. Okay, let's go get that, because that'll be worth some experience points, and take the stuffed bird to Gart. Yes, please. All right, we're going to go... I want to try to talk to people first, because the gloves will be there, I assume, later tonight. The people may not be.
Good to see you, friend. Do I have deals set up for you, buddy boy?
He spreads his arms as if wanting to embrace you. Really? This guy's named Rosemary. Okay.
Does he actually know you? Or is he just shopkeep friendly?
He's just shopkeep friendly. Good to see you too, buddy.
So what do you want? I got smokes. They're cheap. Very cheap. I got Pilsner. Great deal. You won't get a better deal on that piss. Spirits I can let go for 300 real. I also have speed. And by speed, I mean amphetamine.
Thanks for breaking that down. Moo was laughing at the idea of 5 more years of therapy. Deacon saying, once in my life I'd like to watch Psycho streams. Yeah, so Psycho does a lot of like Star Trek Online, which I would legitimately be curious about. I am a tireless defender of Star Wars The Old Republic, and by that I mean the MMO, and by that I mean, yes, seriously. I had a great time with that game. We played it here together. We played it co-op. I played it with HW co-op. It was a great game. Like, I had a wonderful time playing that for like months on end. And if Star Trek Online could capture even a little bit of that, like, that would be a great thing to visit. But I've never been able to see Psycho streams live. I think, says Moo, Auspicious Angel just volunteered to stream until midnight. Wait, what did I say? I mean, that's what I heard. So, Moo, speaking of volunteering, have you given any consideration to joining into the pickup game of Blades in the Dark that Samalander's putting together? Because I know that, like, we've been talking about Caroluna joining. I know that Azaric has said that he's very interested. I think, like, I know that you said that, like, doing a big co-op ongoing thing with Grumpy would be tough because, you know, kids. But I'm just saying that if you could pass the kids off to Grumpy for like an afternoon and run through like just a one-off campaign mission with Samlander and friends, I think it'd be a lot of fun to watch. So, amphetamine, you say? Interesting. That's I'm not sure I've heard of that, sir. Maybe I might want to sample some.
Hi, by amphetamine I mean speed.
I thought by speed you meant amphetamine.
Aye, that's what I said.
Got it.
Good, my man. Now, what can I offer you?
Okay, speed is $15. I do have some speed, which I'm going to take eventually, so I don't need some more. Here's the thing. I'm sort of looking for an opportunity when I might want +1 motoridics and +1 psyche. Why does the bottle of spirits cost $300?
See, friend, it's real valuable. Worth every real, if you catch my drift. Got it from a bit of a business venture.
Okay, I want to hear him out, but I also do want to point out that no one is going to pay him $300 for spirits.
You know, it's funny, actually.
He bursts out laughing, then takes 3 gulps of his Pilsner and stares at you intently.
He's finding it difficult to focus his watery gaze.
What is funny or whatever?
What?
Keep him talking.
All right. What do you mean by what? What did you think was funny earlier?
This guy.
He says, shaking his index finger at you.
Conversation might bring a discount, no?
That's what I was hoping, because no one can afford $300. Where'd you get the bottle of spirits from? Can I just get the spirits? No. Okay. Where'd you get it from?
Oh, this is medicinal spirits. The good stuff. Got it from the doctor's office. I got one of those scientific ampoules a few months ago. Torpedo, they call it. It's supposed to keep a man from taking a drink.
He spits a nasty yellow clot on the ground before you.
Didn't stop me for shit, that's for sure. 5 lemons with half a pack of butter and you're good to go.
What the hell are you talking about? Okay. That's a good tip. I should remember it.
It really isn't. In a week, the goddamn kidneys started giving me all kinds of help. Finally, the missus took me to a private doctor's office. Not a charity, the real thing. Those arseholes charged me 4 real to remove the damn thing. But I came out on top after all.
Wait, what? Hold on, I completely lost it. Okay, so the spirits are medicinal spirits. That's why they're so expensive. He got it from a doctor's office. I got one of those scientific ampoules I thought like an ampule was like a vial. Centrifugal force is gonna laugh her ass off at this. I thought that an ampule was like a vial of something. Okay, so apparently some sort of thing that's injected that he had to have taken out of him. Boy, I was completely turned around about what an ampule is. An ampule is a sealed vial, says Samalander. Yeah, that's what I thought. Why would that stop somebody? Okay, some sort of like folk medicine remedy shit, but I'm so confused by this story. Anyway, I'm going to agree with him that they are assholes because I want a discount.
But the idiots left me alone in there. Now, I used to teach high school biology. I know what doctors use to preserve dead thingies.
He gets an excited gleam in his eye. What? Did he take a bunch of formaldehyde?
Like 3 cans of this blue medicinal stuff from the back room. Threw the snakes out and voila. What's left is this beautiful blue stuff. 98.7% almost pure alcohol. 2 I already sold to these fine gentlemen here. But this last one is yours for 3 real, if you want it.
Okay, I cannot envision why I would say, wait, I thought it was 300. Why would I, So, would it prove useful? So this is not something to drink, clearly. It's some sort of preservative. It's actually preservative based on the story that he just told. I don't need any preservative that I know of, but we haven't done the autopsy yet. And I have to assume that we're going to pull stuff out of that man that we want to have preserved. So, sure, I'll give you $3 for this. I don't know why I'd want to smell it. It's formaldehyde, I'm sure. I'm going to smell it first, though.
Yeah, be careful. It's extremely flammable. One spark and the entire city of Revachol is wiped off the map.
Okay.
Feels like someone set a mustard field ablaze right inside your nose, then drenched it in tear gas. Your nose is a singular source of pain, but at the same time you don't remember the last time you felt so alive. In all fairness, that might be attributed to the retrograde amnesia.
So, what's the deal, friend? Want the spirits or not?
Yeah, so I'm thinking that even though we don't have an actual need for it right now, there's sort of the old adventure game rule that if you can pick it up and keep it in your inventory, you probably want it. Yes, let's get it.
3 real and it's yours, friend. The deal of a lifetime.
Yeah, it's a... I don't even know what percentage discount that is. Down from 300 to 3. It's a big discount.
That's a much more reasonable price right there. Makes sense now.
Do I want to jump on this? I think I do. Here's the money for the spirits.
Just make sure to enjoy that one, friend.
Okay, quite the business venture. I just didn't want him to change the price again, unless it was going to go lower, but then that's on me. Quite the business venture you set up. So before we go, quick sort of like sideline. And hello to Ricardnio. Just read your messages. Wow. So Moose had messages? Hopefully everything's going well, Ricardnio. And you did a stream of Fortnite the other day that we were watching and really having a good time with. Your character has like dual hammers instead of like the one pickaxe, which has its own like different animation, which I liked. Patikin's asking if anybody noticed his last played game. I didn't. Did Mia do the... Oh! Patikin's last played game is fuck Elden Ring. Hashtag fuck Elden Ring at that. Let me just go take a look. Also, Moo did clarify that the ampule isn't the spirits. Thank you to Elf Planetoid. Yeah, I was just like, I couldn't figure out what it was in his story. That's the part that was throwing me off. And then Moo says, let me rephrase. Let me go back to Moo's comment. You said you wanted to raid over to Psycho. Yes. So, yeah, I should stream until midnight. Yes, I would love to. It's not going to work out with my work schedule, but that would be fun. And then Moo says, I have no idea what you're talking about. Blades of what, where, when. And then further says, let me rephrase, I've heard bits and pieces, but no real clue about this one-off RPG thingy. Whose Discord are the deets in? Samalander. And Samalander says, Angel's recruiting people for me to run a game for. The deets don't exist yet. Samalander is contemplating. So, very briefly, Blades in the Dark is it's a heist game where, hypothetically, Moo, Azaric, Caroluna, I don't know, Force, let's say. Ideally, I'd say 3 or 4 players are going to get together, and Sam Melander's going to work with them to create some characters, and they're going to go on a heist together. And the whole premise of the game is that your crew is a crew of, like, basically criminals or thieves, but you're going to go out and steal stuff from people that are even worse. And the whole thing about Blades in the Dark is that it's set in this sort of, like, very Nevers-style universe of Gaslight London, is the way that I've heard Sam Melander talk about it, where it's this sort of fanciful clockwork punk, steampunk style, suspiciously anachronistic technology and or alchemy taking place against this sort of Victorian era style London backdrop. And the premise of the game is some sort of like caper that you and your friends are going on. And what is most interesting to me based on what I've read is in the pacing, where it sounds like it starts in media res. It starts with the heist already going, and a big focus on the way that the game unfolds is you and your friends sort of supplying flashbacks on all the steps that you took to prepare for the various hurdles that are coming up in the scenario. So it's very much given over towards one-off adventures. So there's not a big commitment that, you know, you're committing to doing this every week or anything like that. You all get together and you combine your creativity, your imagination, your various abilities to overcome these different obstacles and hopefully get away with whatever it is that you're trying to do. And it very much rewards creative thinking and quick thinking and cunning and deviousness, and it sounds like it'd be a lot of fun. I think that it has a very cool setting, and I would love to see Sam Melander get to run a game of it. So that is my soft pitch for Blades in the Dark, and I'm sure that Sam Melander would work with you to set up your characters so that you could sort of like jump in and sort of just do an audition stream, you know, spend a little bit of an afternoon, a couple hours enjoying it and hopefully doing it on stream. And I think it would be a lot of fun. So that's how it goes. Sam Melander does agree 4 is generally ideal, 3 is minimum, 6 is max. And he further says, Gaslamp London, where all the resources come from cosmic horror. Now that sounds like a great setting. Sam Melander says, you know, Angel, you talk about this enough that you should join too. I am not opposed. I think that we have so many wonderful personalities in the community that I would love to see interact with each other and really get to flex their brightness and their creativity, that I would hate to take a spot from anybody who would really shine at that. Ricardo saying hello to Mia and hope everything is okay with the current situation, Mia. So the good news is Mia and Chivalry themselves are safe and happy and have electricity, but yeah, a lot of their electronics took some damage. So that's enough of a break. Let's go ahead and continue with our game. We clearly don't know each other. I'm not going to say that. Quite the business venture you set up here.
Oh, the system's been good to old Rosemary here, and I'm milking her like a bitch goat in the backyard.
That's a great phrase. Thank you for that. What do you mean, though?
You see, friend, man makes his own luck, and I made mine real good. Got my hands on 3 bottles of liquor exquise, sold 2 to the fellows around here, and immediately invested the profit. Bought cigarettes, bought beer, even bought a bit of speed. And look at me now. I got everyone on my hook.
He spreads his arms and smiles a crooked, toothless smile.
The hook. Where is it? I can't see it.
Wow, visual calculus is super literal. Looks like you're on your own hook too. Impressive entrepreneurship. Point to his vice stand. I approve. Looks like you're on your own hook too. What does that mean in this context? I'm not being as literal as he is, but I don't know what this means. I'm going to say it.
Of course. It is what it is, you know. What it's always been. People, buddy boy. It's the people.
This guy's very enthusiastic about saying jack all nothing. Okay, I don't want the smokes, but let's sort of remember that he'll sell me smokes for $2, and I'm pretty sure they're more expensive from the Freet. Also, they may be laced with speed, which, to be blunt, would just be a positive. All right, I'm off. Also, okay, so alcohol. Yeah, I think that based on what we know about my character, I'm all aboard for the amphetamines, but not so much the booze. I know it's a weird choice, but...
In the civilized world, it's a custom to tip the shopkeep, friend. But come back anyway.
He waves you off. Yeah, Chivalry's saying that I have a dead laptop. Yeah, that's the thing about, like, a nearby lightning strike. But the music just gets so loud when we're walking around. I don't know why there's such a volume thing. And you might say, why not turn it down? Because every time that we're not... You know what? I am going to notch it down, the music volume. Or is that environment volume? It's got to be music volume. Let's just notch it down a little bit. Like, I don't want it to be inaudible when it's, like, the correct volume. But... yeah, I don't know about that. Okay, continue.
Hey, tequila!
A 30-something man clad in a two-piece lycra, trademark, jumpsuit, puts down his Pilsner and extends his hand in greeting.
Good to see you. How's business? How's the whole reality situation treating you?
I'm gonna shake his hand.
So what's happening?
Wait, tequila?
Yeah, Tequila Sunset. How are the, high-concept, reality-based adventures proceeding?
Now, this guy does seem to know me.
He says it like it's obviously your name. Like you call someone Billy Brunel or leader of the 4th Street Gang. Good. These people know your true name. Looks like it has preceded you, Mr. Sunset. More on that later.
I'm on a 50-year losing streak. Yeah, reality makes me aggressively sad. People tell me I'm a cop and I'm getting used to that. I've re-entered reality to conquer it, to bend it to my will. I am the law. I don't choose these things. I like, on the character sheet, there's a rating for like super cop, and I'm pretty sure that that's what this is supposed to be. But is super cop supposed to be in this universe synonymous with megalomaniacal idiot? Because that's what all of these read, like dangerous. Let me put it this way. A police officer that would say or think things like this really needs to not be a police officer or have access to firearms or weaponry of any kind or authority over the lives and well-being of other people. This is not someone you want to be in charge. Like everyone else, I have all sorts of wild thoughts running through my head, but then pick the most boring one. I'm going to... I want to say this. I'm worried that it's going to diminish Kim's opinion of me, that I'm still getting used to being a cop, but it's also kind of true. I'm going to say this one.
It's good to hear that you're on top of things. Talking about used to, did you know that I used to be a real mover and shaker?
He thoughtfully picks his shit-stained lycra, trademark, jacket. I'm going to stop doing that, but I just find it interesting that that's part of the description every time.
Sadly, things aren't going that well in Idiot Doom Spiral Land. Haven't found those keys yet, haven't won that great piece of ass back. No word from my business buddies.
He takes a sip from his beer. I really like his delivery so far.
This guy's your buddy. You feel it immediately. You belong to an organization, a fraternity of drunks.
Idiot Doom Spiral is my buddy.
Idiot Doom Spiral, huh? This is bound to be a good, high-concept conversation. At last.
Oh, let's hit it, conceptualization. What do you guys do around here?
We are saving the world.
He looks at his comrades.
Please don't go. Don't go.
Begs the man in the pipe. Okay, that's this fellow.
Okay, we're drinking. We're drinking alcohol. That's what we're doing. I tried to save the world once, a long time ago, with enterprise, creativity, and willpower. But that didn't work out. So now it's a pirate's life for me.
What's a tequila sunset? It's your name, brother. Why would you say this? But I don't want to leave yet.
It's you. Your tequila sunset.
How do you know this?
We've met before. Don't you remember?
No, you sure don't.
Okay, no.
Aha. Do you want to know how Tequila Sunset came to be?
More than anything in the world right now.
Tequila sunset. Something ominous there.
That is the least ominous phrase that I've heard in the game so far. For some reason, the name tequila fills me with foreboding. Maybe I shouldn't learn what it means. No, you should learn. You should learn. Go ahead.
Let me take a sip to moisten up my cords. Tequila Sunset rolled into Martinez last Friday. And by Tequila Sunset, I mean you. The man, the myth.
This guy had a great time recording his lines. Did we meet on Friday? Was I alone? The more important thing is, was I alone?
Hey, let's not jump ahead of ourselves. This is your story. Stop interrupting.
He takes another sip, then continues.
You got here on Friday to solve a case, hoping to be the early bird who gets the worm. And by the worm, I mean the buzz. Because as far as I know, all you did was get piss drunk. Word on the street is you went around the local hostel telling people that you're a police officer, and that it would be really fucked up if you shot yourself in the head, right in front of them. That's pretty high concept, if you ask me.
It is. The lieutenant's brow is furrowed. He's listening as casually as he can.
Oh, I bet he is. What happened then?
It was a late Saturday night when we, the Union of Moribund Alcoholics, were getting our drink on. Nothing remarkable about this. We get our drink on 24/7. Makes everything warm and glowy. I trust you know the feeling.
Hey, I think we just found our next episode title. Union of Moribund Alcoholics.
One moment we hear the sound of a motor carriage revving up somewhere on the plaza, followed by a series of dings and bangs.
Do you remember the sound of wood cracking? The billboard?
Naturally, loud noises pique the interest of anybody owning a pair of ears. That's just the reality we're in.
Naturally.
Anyway, there was a brief silence, a gasp of silence, if you will, followed by a real commotion. We heard the carriage careening towards the coast at top speed. Sounded like someone jumped the canal. We grabbed our brewskis and rushed to the jetty. Never underestimate the speed of an alcoholic. What we saw was a sight to behold. A beat-up police carriage containing you. Right there on the beach, you revved the engine and screamed at the top of your lungs, "The time hath come!" So, naturally, being the curious cat I am, I asked what time hath come. To which you replied, "The time hath come for Tequila Sunset, the end of all things."
Fuck it. Every word I said was true. Tequila Sunset will break the looms of reality.
Yeah, looms. Why not? Then you jammed the pedal and plowed right off the jetty and through the ice. We ran towards the ice whilst you crawled your way out, miraculously unhurt, covered in seaweed and shit, like some kind of sea monster. When we finally got there, you were sitting on the beach crying. You said that your badge and uniform were in the car. It was too late to get in there, though. The carriage had sunk too deep.
Now, note that my gun was not in the car.
In this way, you and your motor carriage have a lot in common.
Recognizing a brother in need, we offered our condolences and invited you to party with us, which you naturally agreed to. We asked about the whole Tequila Sunset thing, and you told us it was your name now and insisted that we all call you that from then on.
I'd like to point out that my original pitch for my character's name was like Bronze Heineken or something like that, which isn't all that far removed. Tequila Sunset is clearly a name. Sounds pretty good. My real name is Harry. Right, but this guy doesn't care about your real name. He's all about, like, the myth, as he said. Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I agree.
He smiles. How long did we party for?
Hours. It was an all-night drink-a-thon. Then, at some point, I think it was Sunday morning, you got belligerent and wanted to talk about Revacholian women. How they're beautiful and also whores and so on. How one of them fucked you real bad. After a short while, you crossed the event horizon, looked sullen, got up, and left without saying anything.
Wow, that's quite a story.
Yeah, I bet Tequila's a fucking legend around the precinct. You must be proud to work with him.
If you only knew.
Oh, no. Also, just to pause very quickly, Grumpy saying, I just accused the kids of stealing $200 because Moo didn't check her pockets. There's your 5 years of therapy. Oh, no. That would be a lot of money for the kids to have taken. They're not terribly old. What were they going to spend it on? Legos? I may not know the age of Grumpy and Moo's kids, but $200 feels like it'd be a lot for them to have taken. Okay. Did I tell you anything specific about the person that fucked me? Did I mention losing anything else, like my gun? Did I say anything about my colleagues, the case, politics? Did you get a read on what kind of cop I was? I think he probably got the read that you are a dedicated law enforcement professional whose judgment is beyond reproach. That's probably the lesson that came out of the legend of Tequila Sunrise. I am mostly interested in his past relationships, so let's ask about the person that fucked me. Unless I said something about the case. That really should be... let's imagine we only get to ask one thing. That would be the one thing. Did I say anything about the case?
Yeah, you said it was no biggie and that you'd solve it in no time. And that you didn't need anyone to do it. You're doing it solo now.
A lot of cops go solo and hermit once they reach that level of alcoholism.
It's not meant as a joke. He's sorry for the hermit cop.
That's sorry for the sorry cop. Thank you very much. Did I tell you anything specific about the person who fucked me?
You were pretty vague about it, but you kept saying you got fucked real hard, and that we've all been fucked too.
Please, don't open that door.
No one's fucked me. I do the fucking around here. Abigail.
It seemed pretty painful, to be honest with you. If I had to guess, I'd say you're still working through some shit.
I'll say, I mean, that cost health points. Even starting to think about that was physically damaging. Did I mention losing anything else? This guy sounds like... who was the wealthy guy on Gilligan's Island? I don't think that I can quite do his accent, but this guy talks like that, but minus the British accent. And I can't quite get it. I love the way that he speaks. He sounds like he's a British guy doing a good job of sounding American and like super laid back, but also oddly intense. I very much am enjoying Idiot Doom Spiral's delivery. Did I mention anything else?
Beside your gun and your badge? You said something about your hope or heart or something. To be honest, the details are a little hazy.
Thurston Powell III, thank you. Couldn't think of it.
In retrospect, I guess you lost your motor carriage too? That's a big one.
Did I say anything about my colleagues, particularly a guy with sunglasses and a young woman who's like a patrol woman?
You told us that they were a bunch of fucking losers whose main interest was cramping your style.
It's more like you were cramping theirs.
No specifics, though. It was more about you that night. You were the star of the show.
All right. The least interesting thing for my character to ask about would be politics.
Yeah, you kept talking about how the coal mine owners were fucking us all over, just like that woman fucked you. I didn't agree with you, by the way. The spectral hand of the market makes sure everyone gets exactly what they deserve.
Oh, no. Not the spectral hand of the market. Oh, I think we just learned a whole bunch about Idiot Doom Spiral. Did you get a read on what kind of cop I was?
You kept apologizing for being such a bad cop and for the damage you've inflicted on everyone around you. You also kept pausing to knock the heel of your hand against your temples, saying, "Stupid, stupid, stupid."
Also, on our way out here, Moo is saying, let's just say you can buy a lot of ice cream with $200. And the 12-year-old has started going out with her friends to the beach and other places, riding bikes on their own. Oh yeah, you can afford quite an afternoon with the friends at that age, with $200 burning a hole in your pocket.
It's a hard thing for a man to confront his past. That's why I avoid mine at all costs.
You seem like you're characterized by your storytelling ability. Want to tell me another sometime?
Whoop-de-doo. So now I'm a fucking storyteller. Right. Why not? Better than a beach bum.
Wait a second. So now I'm fully committed to the next one, because the alternative option is I've heard enough stories for a lifetime. They suck. Goodbye. And I don't want to say that, because I like his stories.
It depends, really. Are you willing to help me out?
Oh, if there's experience or money involved, Idiot Doom Spiral, I am aboard. If we're going to have a conversation about the spectral hand of the free market, I am less interested in helping you out.
You might get scammed here.
Oh, I'm going to get scammed no matter what I do. I have a feeling this is going to cost me a lot.
No, the reality of the situation requires a rather modest contribution. A little motivational package.
All right, what do you need?
Booze. Did you already forget our party? The thing I relayed to you earlier.
He taps his finger to his temple.
So, have you got anything for good old Idiot Doom Spiral? A bottle for a story. Seems fair to me.
Okay, so I can offer him the blue medicinal spirit, but again, that's a preservative, and I think that we want to keep that for the autopsy. That's a big assumption, but I think that it's a fair one. I'm not going to drink this Commodore Red. I don't know. I don't want to give you any alcohol. I'm not an enabler. No, I am an enabler and a follower on this. Yeah, take the Commodore Red. Let's hear it.
Classy.
He snatches the bottle and pushes the cork through the bottleneck.
Hey, Spiral Boy, you gonna share that?
One of the other bums interjects.
Don't call Abigail.
Shut up, guys. I'm telling a story here. Something happened to you. Something happened to me, too. My actual name is George. But around here, you already know. I was once a reasonably high net worth individual. A founder/junior partner at a high-concept creative services agency. When my story begins, I had just landed a major contract with an insurance firm. I used the profits from my agency to finance what I called a cultural incubator. Abstract value generation, value per person, high-concept stuff. I developed the paradigm, worked within the paradigm, but the burden of leadership weighed heavily on me. So I went jogging every so often to keep myself sane.
Wait, how many people did you have working for you?
22 full-time employees, an all-star team, a potentially historical set of individuals. Worrying about them often kept me up well into the morning hours.
I could probably use a good run myself. I'm not in the best of shape. Yeah.
It helped, truly. With my trusty Sansaric Lycra tracksuit, I felt like I could conquer the world. But now dreams are worn thin, much like my tracksuit.
He says thoughtfully, brushing dust off his shit-stained pants. What happened?
One day I left on my evening run. As you may know, it's impossible to clear your head when you're distracted by the sound of keys jangling in your pockets.
He shakes the bottle and makes a ringing sound.
His eyes are clouded, his dilated blood vessels encircling his irises like stinging brambles. His eyes are your eyes.
So I removed the key ring and put the keys for the front gate and the apartment into different pockets to stop the jangling, you see. At least, that was the plan. I was halfway done with my usual lap when it started to rain. The reality situation became very wet, very quickly.
This feels like an odd question. How wet are we talking about? I feel like this is like that conversation in Seinfeld about when something is over dry. Wet is wet. Like, we're all standing in the rain right now. We're probably pretty wet.
It was a day not unlike this one here.
You both glanced skyward.
I made my way back home and discovered that I didn't have the key to the front gate. I'd mixed it up with the key to the letterbox, which was useless. Naturally, the situation required me to climb over the gate, which I did. There was no climbing down because I slipped and landed on my ass.
I'm not going to say anything.
Reality was looking rather grim just then. Me lying on my ass in a mud pit in the middle of a heavy shower. But when life knocked me down, I always got up.
Also, rather grim? That's mildly embarrassing at worst. That doesn't seem that bad.
So I made my way across the yard. Standing in front of my apartment door, fumbling with my pockets, I realized that I'd also forgotten my apartment key.
You gotta be shitting me.
I wish I were, Tequila. I wish I were. Instead of my apartment key, I'd taken the key to the office.
Alright, what happened next?
I rang my neighbor's buzzers. It was late, and most of them didn't even answer. Those who did assumed I was trying to sell them something and hung up before I could even explain the situation. People are naturally wary of ad men, you see. One moment someone chats you up, 5 minutes later you've bought a box of edible lingerie and a strap-on. I don't begrudge them, especially since I was known to be one of the best.
He pauses meaningfully, as do I, to say hello to Jägermeister. Jägermeister, I hope you're having a great Thursday. We are getting to know this wonderful individual by the name of Idiot Doom Spiral, a man who sounds at all times like he's smoking a cigar at the end of a very long holder, sipping some sherry and regaling everyone at the gentlemen's clubs with tales of high finance and adventure. So far, he's fallen on his ass in the mud, which seems just a little bit embarrassing and no big deal, but we're going to find out what happened next.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Just then, I experienced a moment of clarity. I still had the key to my office. I could wait out the storm there. But when I reached my office, I remembered that I'd asked one of my producers to change the locks that day. And since I hired only the best, he'd already done it, and I couldn't get in. Anyway, long story short, life spiraled out of control. I haven't gotten into my apartment for years, and my girlfriend left me because she didn't want to date a homeless man. The company, well, you see where I'm going with this.
No! What? That does not follow from the story that we just heard.
So, now you've heard my tragic tale. What do you think? Like nothing you've ever heard, huh?
One day I got briefly locked out of my office and apartment, so therefore I was locked out for years. My girlfriend left me, I was homeless, and I lost my company. Oh, that's such a great story. It's the opposite of the Shaggy Dog story. I feel like there's some steps missing.
Tequila, I've thought about this series of events for a long time. If there was anything else to it, I would have thought of it by now.
I can't argue with him. He makes a really good point.
Why didn't you go to the authorities?
Well, at one point they came to me, but, you know, I didn't have any ID on me. So they tossed me in jail for 2 days. I can't say it increased my faith in the RCM. No offense, gentlemen.
So, sorry, Jägermeister has just coined apparently a new phrase. He's saying that he put in 8,000 steps in 2 hours of pickleball. 85 degrees too hot, but the competition was good. And Moo enjoyed the synopsis. Maybe he's also known as Not Sure in Realities. Oh, wait, which one? Who's not sure? Is that my character or Idiot Doom Spiral? It could be either one. And yes, that is a Idiocracy reference. Boy, that was an oddly good movie. And also, so then Jägermeister says, hiya, Salamander, Moo, Grumpy, and the other Angelicans. To which Mia responds, oh God, we're Angelicans. And also hello to Jägermeister. Salamander says, I left my wallet at home, and long story short, I'm now wanted for treason in France. Oh, I went to go see the woodchuck, but they never checked the wooden leg. I'm almost homeless myself. Doesn't seem so bad. Look on the bright side. You've got one hell of a story. You do realize that all of this was all your own fault. What? What was his own fault? He left his keys behind one day. I literally can't believe it. Let's go with I'm almost homeless myself. It doesn't seem so bad.
The hobo lifestyle definitely has some perks. Not having to pay rent, first and foremost. Not being responsible for 20 other people is nice, too. But that charm wears off pretty quickly. Before you know it, you're wearing a shit-stained tracksuit and spending your days picking tear.
Like, I honestly get the sense... I know that he said that he hasn't been into his apartment in years, but the fact that he's still wearing the tracksuit honestly makes me think that everything he just said happened 4 days ago. And he just decided to not go back to his old life, that he had some sort of a weird critical... He failed a critical role on his midlife crisis and is now living as a bum rather than just calling a locksmith. Why do you keep losing all your stuff? I want to hear the story of your name again. Have you got any more stories? Why do you keep losing all your stuff?
Good fucking question, Tequila. If I knew the answer, you think I'd be hanging out on a beach in this formerly premium but now extremely dirty two-piece Lycra tracksuit? I used to own my reality situation. My business buddies and I had our own creative services agency. I had a nice apartment, an even nicer piece of ass. But somehow it all got away from me. Now I can't hang on to anything. Just last week I stole this nice new jacket, but then I lost it too. The only things I haven't lost are these two drunks.
You of all people should empathize with this. Perhaps this lost jacket is something you could help with?
Oh, I was thinking that I could wear the jacket, but if I could bring it back to him and, like, get anything out of it, sure. What's this about a lost jacket?
Tequila, it's a verifiable tragedy. It was practically brand new. Sure, it didn't really go with my Lycra threads, but it did itch a lot less. Say, you're a detective, right? Maybe you can help old Doom Spiral out. Solve the case of the missing jacket. What do you say, Tequila?
Mia is calling for a better Mia reading of that comment. So, I suspect that it would have gone like, oh my God, we're Angelica! And I really like it when Mia's like in her own stream and she goes, Mia! And then, yes. Oh, and hey, Jägermeister. Because she can also turn on a dime. Maybe we can help old Doom out, solve the case of the missing jacket. Oh, I would love to. Me and Sally Brown. No, it's Encyclopedia Brown and, like, Sally Winthrop. Sure, where'd you lose it?
If I knew where I lost it, don't you think I'd have it? I mean, maybe I was up by the boardwalk, or walking along the beach, or checking out the abandoned fish market.
That's a lot of places.
Somewhere north of here, that's for sure. You could ask around, see if anyone's seen it.
All right, I wanted to make sure that we got that locked in. What was the name of your agency?
My agency, man. The Boom Boom Room. Our concept was combining high art with the lowest forms of marketing. The color red, breasts, and oil painting. I convinced my partners to reinvest some of our profits in an even more high-concept cultural incubator called Thin Air. The artists were happy, the clients were happy. I was financing a group of poets in East Rebishal who were developing a new universal poetic language. But then it all went to shit.
He looks towards the bay.
If it sounds like it makes no sense, that's because it doesn't.
Mixing oil painting and breasts to make ads isn't high art, it's just cynical wankery. I feel like that depends on the quality of the painting. That's so high concept, I have no idea what it means. Like, in other words, like, I don't know if it's... I don't know. I don't feel like the presence of breasts automatically disallows high art, which feels like that's what that's saying. That's so high concept, I have no idea what it means. Mixing high and low, commodifying culture, that is extremely my shit. I don't feel like it is, though. Never mind that I asked. I'm gonna go with that so high concept, I have no idea what it means.
I know. It was fucking awesome. Until I went on a jog, unleashing a cascade of doom that washed it all away.
Can you imagine that there's a version of this game that doesn't have all this voice acting? Like, I would have missed out on this guy. Like... It honestly feels like this is a celebrity that I don't recognize. He's so distinctive from, like, every character is distinctive in their own way, but this guy in particular just has a whole delivery happening here. What's up with the tracksuit?
What? You've never seen 100% Lycra before? Go on, feel that primo material.
The man extends his arm, and I actually cannot help myself.
Pretty nice, huh? This might be one of the last of its kind. Should probably be in a museum, honestly.
He takes another sip.
Good God. It's nearly impossible to describe how dirty this texture is. It's like rubbing two jellyfish skins together. You feel about 15% less human for having touched it.
Whoa, and I'm wearing big, thick yellow gloves that are good for interfacing, too. Yikes.
Randomized trials have also found Lycra, TM, to be associated with a number of exotic, highly malignant cancers. So you also have that to look forward to.
Again, big gloves.
And then there's the smell. But you don't even want to think about that.
Wow, you're lucky. He never lets me feel it.
That's because your paws are fucking filthy, Rosie. We're right next to the bay. You could wash them any time.
What about the other drunks? I asked right in front of them.
My fellow members of the Union of Moribund Alcoholics? They're exactly what they look like.
Hey, tequila! You want to buy some speed?
Shut the fuck up, Rosemary. He's a cop, remember?
I thought he was a cool cop.
Don't call Abigail.
And this is Abs. So yeah, that's basically us. We drink together.
Let me ask you something else.
I'm all ears, Tequila.
Okay, I don't want to hear the story of his name again. I assume it's just going to be a big repeat, but what if there's anything new or any other options?
What's in a name?
Hey, Spiral Boy, you gonna share that?
Don't call Abigail.
Shut up, guys. I'm telling a story here.
Okay, hold on.
I was once a reasonably high net worth.
All right, I've already heard it, yep.
So you don't want to just hear the same story again? Okay. Huh.
He looks taken aback. Have you got any other stories? I'm going to owe him booze, though. He's not going to tell them to me.
I do. But as you can see, my fuel tank is running quite low. If you catch my drift.
He spins the bottle in his hand. Not a single drop of liquid remains. Well, I don't have any more.
Cottonmouth is keeping my tongue imprisoned.
He shrugs his shoulders dramatically. All right, I'll see you later, idiot Doom Spiral.
You too, Tequila Sunset.
Okay, that was a lot all at once. But then again, that's kind of the theme of Disco Elysium. I don't get the sense that Don't Call Abigail is going to be the greatest conversationalist.
Don't call Abigail.
Grumbles an unshaven man with a ruddy nose. He narrows his eyes at you as if in recognition, then turns his head away.
The noxious odor emanating from the drunken man is strong and familiar.
Don't you call her. Yeah! Don't call Abigail!
So I can respond, I am the law, but I'd rather ask, who is Abigail?
Uh-huh. Abigail. Don't you fucking call Abigail.
He draws out a disgusting snort, then mumbles, waving a finger in your general direction.
Abigail is his wife or girlfriend. Chances are she's gone. Calling her wouldn't make it any better or worse. You're not going to get anything out of this guy. He's too drunk.
Right, but we might as well ask. So let's just get to it. Why shouldn't I call Abigail?
He snorts and beckons you to lean in closer.
Okay, this guy leaning in closer to the woman who says that I have cataracts and I can't see you, that just seems like respectful that you are allowing her to see the person that she's talking to. Leaning in towards this guy feels a little bit more tenuous. I'm not going to lean in.
He waves his hand as if shooing you away, all the while murmuring something indecipherable.
What's your name?
Don't call Abigail!
Okay, where am I?
The man hiccups, then mumbles something unintelligible.
Tell me about your friends.
Don't you fucking call her! Hear me? Abigail?
I usually don't say these things, but I cannot imagine the harm in demanding that he answer questions.
There's no use in yelling at drunks. He's barely holding it together.
The drunk man starts coughing a really disgusting, hacking cough.
Don't call.
Slowly, his head nods off to the side and he passes out, tongue dangling from his
There
mouth.
was little chance he'd be a reliable witness anyway.
Also witness to what, Kim? I mean, we don't really think that he was anywhere near the scene of the crime. Okay, so it's just the three of them. Boy, that was, again, a lot of stuff to deconstruct there. As we go, I cannot remember, I don't feel like I called it out, but Moo did,
A drop in temperature, an easy flow there, an empty street before you, a thoroughfare unjammed with lorries. No more drivers smoking on hitch steps. Just silence.
Moo actually did say that she was interested in considering the, the Blaze in the Dark game. I would love to see that happen. Right now, it really is just in the earliest imaginable conceptual stages. Like, I don't even know if Salamander has the rule books or when it would happen or how long a game takes. It's just sort of like, boy, wouldn't that be cool? And the thing is, it can't move beyond wouldn't it be cool unless we know if people are interested. So I feel like if we've already got Azric and Moo saying like, yep, I'm up for it, that we're already halfway to a full party. Okay, what did the smoke smell like?
Chemically sweetened. Across the road, a forgotten bus stop. Corrosion has opened a hole in its roof. An elm tree watches over the building. Its branches are dripping with rain and snow. The road is smooth and motley. Craters filled with a black asphalt. The asphalt, first laid, is grey already. A row of tenements are under construction in the distance.
I think I'm looking further to the southwest here, and that's what we're describing. Who are the people that live across the road?
A tub warm with water, white with soap. A man bathes while radio waves transmit the lottery numbers. 4, 18, 21, 4, 1. A modern washing machine rattles a drawer full of silverware. His boyfriend is on his way home. He brings tins of meat and vegetables with him. Their pockets are heavier with money, but only slightly.
Okay. What about the bus stop?
Number 312D. Young girls used to come here, huddled up, hoping for more warmth than their thin coats give them. The bus took them to school. It has not run for 8 years. There were not enough girls to sustain its cost.
What about the road?
Craters pocked the surface. Children played in them until heavy trucks full of black pitch rolled in. The landowners have filled the craters with money. It is a vital artery of the flow of trade. There's one bump on the road. A dead dog lies flat about 200 paces away, right at the turn.
That dog.
Tragedy comes from the wheels of a fast RCM vehicle, hurrying to work. The cold washes over you. The sound of the sea has grown distant.
So I just need to remind myself exactly what Shivers is. Raise the hair on your neck, tune into the city. Okay, so I guess this is sort of like streetwise in Dungeons and Dragons, like the idea of just sort of being in tune with a particular neighborhood, a vibe, being able to look at things and discern qualities about the people that live there through, like, understanding the environment better, I guess.
The wind moves the aerosol. A detective stands behind the boom barrier. A breeze moves a curl of his hair.
Also, similarly interesting that he does have the rule set. So we can continue. Oh no, nope. There's a bar there. This appears to be the edge of the world, unless on Friday this arm comes up. All right. This map is a third pass useless. Like, in terms of like knowing where to go, I think that it's very useful for like knowing who you want to go talk to. Yeah, we're gonna have to go do that. Rhetoric from Gaston. Did I? Yep, that's where the little girl lived. So we can go, go up to her sandcastle, and we should find the gauntlets here.
Weather has not been kind to Lily's little sandcastle. The once mighty towers are quickly eroding away. You can see something shining back to you from what must have been a vast underground catacomb network.
So I can say broken.
The little castle? The reigning lord must have come upon some really tough times to let it sleep in such decrepitude.
Reach into the catacombs and pull out the shiny object.
The walls and floors give way to the giant's greed, collapse and present you with a pair of ceramic gauntlets.
Congratulations. That's the gauntlets down then. We're doing good on the armor collection front.
Okay, and I have another point. Now, I feel like there's going to be a little bit of advantage to saving it, because if I go talk to Titus, roll on Rhetoric, and I fail, then I can immediately put another point into Rhetoric and try again. So I'm actually going to hold on to it, and we're going to see if we can... Whoop. A little black swallow circles above you. You hear it chirrup. Pretty sure the witch in Graveyard Keeper lives out this way. Oh, there's money. There's money on that platform. Can I get up there? What's up? The water runs from the west. The source is upstream, a broken pipe. All right, we definitely want to go get the money, but let's also check to see what appears to be a little hidden box back here. Oh, $1.15. Especially since now it's all profit, right? I don't have to give any more over to Gart. Rust-eaten letters read Mazut. The rear tire of a motor carriage adorns these roads. They sometimes put it. Looking back at you from the rust-colored water, you... When I was growing up, I remember my nursery school. Hello to Azaric. Azaric, actually, we were just talking about Blaze in the Dark again. Moo said that she would also be interested to give it a spin. So your party's already up to 2 confirmed, or 2 highly prospective, 2 likely and interested. Oh, there's somebody up there. All right, we might go up there and try to see, but I really want the cash that's over here if we can get it. Okay, can I get up there? Oh, hold on. No boat in the boathouse today. I really thought that this western area was going to be a lot smaller. I'm glad that there's so much to it. This section of the coast hasn't been used in decades. Okay, we can heal our morale, and We also have... Look at this. Hold on. We have +1 savoir-faire. That's good, because if I remember correctly, we need savoir-faire to try to get the police... Oh, there's something over here, too. To get the police, cloak. 45 bucks? Sorry, 45 cents, not bucks. The boathouse is shoddily constructed. A strong breeze might blow it over. Oh, I didn't finish that thought. So I remember when I was in nursery school, it was sort of like a local building, and there was like a creek that ran past it that we could see sort of like from over the fence, and it was all like very brown water, and me and all the other kids called it the Chocolate River, and I was thoroughly convinced that it was filled with chocolate syrup, and if only I could get there, it would be like delicious, and you know, you could swim in chocolate syrup and stuff. Like, I earnestly really believed that when I was that age, and I remember my father saying, no, that's just dirty water, you don't want any part of that. Ancient paint is peeling off the roof of this shaded bench covered in rust.
A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, reaching from one corner to the other.
As we're saying, very nice, probably in reference to Blades in the Dark, and then just finished up with a little more work in Mordor, working to get used to and better in the game. I'm such a noob when it comes to controller. Well, I gotta say, Azric, you were like, there was already a marked improvement in the very short amount of time that you did your very first stream, getting more comfortable with like doing the different controls. I remember like there is a like stab them to death when they're down button. I think that I'd said right trigger and Y, because that's what it is in Batman, but yeah, it's right trigger and X, which you were able to find it in the moves menu. Yeah, I did not have as good a time with Shadow of War, which was the second one. I felt like that one wore thin more quickly, and I didn't feel like the combat was as polished. But, as I like to point out, Shadow of War, that second game, has been exhaustively patched since the time that I played it. I had an awesome time with the first game, and like I've said, like in stream, like in chat, watching you play that really made me want to revisit the sequel again, because hey, it's a different game now than it was. So, do I have heroic visual calculus? I could smoke and get this up even higher. I just don't know if I want to use my cigarettes to do this. Look, Kim, even more bullet holes, something's definitely gone down here. Yeah, there was a revolution, genius. Why this many bullet holes? Because they were executing people against the wall. Let's do it. 72%? Come on, we can do this.
Unable to piece together the big picture just now. There's a hole in their hypothesis.
I want to say I'm dumb, but I might lose even more morale. Fuck it. No, it's fine. Okay, let's not be too down on ourselves.
The scattering of bullet holes looks like one giant smiling mouth, smiling its deadly smile.
Look, Kim, even more bullet holes. Something's definitely gone down here.
Correct. The density of the bullet holes is unusual, even in a general average bullet hole frequency in Martinez sense. Grim affairs. Meaning, this is a lot of bullet holes. Looks like fully automatic rifle fire. Something you don't see these days.
Well, why not?
The manufacturing and sale of automatic rifles was curtailed after the revolution. The destructive power of such tools proved to be too much. We do need to retain some humanity in this world.
So, here's my question. I know that it'll be unlocked if I put a point into visual calculus, but what if I smoke and put a point into intellect, which I'm pretty sure that's what smoking would get me? Would that also unlock it? And see, here's the thing. That's a game mechanics thing. I'm willing to accept the losses when I fail a roll, but I don't want to waste a cigarette if I don't understand how the game mechanics go. Azric's also saying, sorry, Angel, Twitch buffered on me and had to refresh the stream. Heard you saying that you didn't feel the vibe as much in the second one. Okay, so Elf Planetaurus is saving me a reload by saying no. So I do have to put the point into... Thank you to Elf Planetor. I do have to put the point into visual calculus. I can't just get myself a temporary buff. So that is very helpful. Thank you on that. Yeah, specifically in in Shadow of War, which was the second game, I felt like it lost sight of the things that I and many others enjoyed so much about the Nemesis system, and the way that it sort of like had some fun with the Lord of the Rings story, and instead it sort of like stripped out the story and the more iconic, memorable orc characters to provide this. I was actually just talking with More Than a Me about sort of procedural generation, that if procedural generation is used to too great of an extent, everything can just sort of feel like a generic, gray, undifferentiated splay of variety. Like, everything's different, but nothing stands out or is unique. And that's how I felt about the orc villains in Shadow of War compared to the first game. And the storyline was paper thin. It was so threadbare that the combat was no longer enough to keep my interest in it. So that's how I felt about the sequel. I really very much enjoyed the first game, and that's not to say that you can't enjoy the second game. I want to revisit it myself. In any event, let's walk away and leave, but let's sort of keep it in mind that I'd like to put some more points into visual calculus, unless I have any clothes that'll do it for me. Let's look real quick. That's +1 logic, but -1 authority, -1 visual calculus, +1 empathy. I don't think I have anything that gives me visual calculus, but we'll look real quick. Make sure. No. Okay, fair enough. Elf Planetoid had said, but if you have reached your max skill in a level, you can smoke and then put a point to reopen a check. Now, does the point, Elf Planetor, in that event, does the point disappear after the +1 attribute goes away? I can't imagine that it would, but I'm curious about that. That would be horrible if you wasted a point and then when the bonus went away, you lost it, unless you took another like bonus to the attribute. Oh, bottles. There we go. It's 20 cents right there. Planetor saying, no, you don't lose the point. That is very helpful. See, and that, like everything that just happened there, that's a great example of, that's not a spoiler. It's explaining how the, like, game mechanics work. There's a huge difference between you should do this because it's how to advance most efficiently in the game versus, okay, here's how the game mechanics even function so that you can make intelligent decisions about what to do next. We talk about this sometimes. Oh, hold on. I have a peepo that gives me +2 logic at the cost of 1 perception. And I put points into that. Talk to me more about peepo. Also, what kind of, I honestly, right now, I have no idea what piece of clothing this is. Oh, it's a hat. What was my hat before? The fedora? So fedora gave me +1 encyclopedia. This gives me +2 logic at the cost of a perception. I think I'm okay with that. Yeah, perception 3 feels awfully low. +7 logic, though. That's really good. Huh. And what am I giving up? The +1 encyclopedia. Was this a logic check? No, the visual calculus is what the one that I just failed was. The door is not only barred shut, it's inaccessible. Here's the thing, though. I want my character to have perception. Like, I've got logic, not as much as I could have, but I've got a pretty good logic score. Entree interditi. I have to imagine that that's forbidden? That doesn't make a lot of sense based on the structure of the word. An old ticket taker booth, no longer in operation. Yes, there might be role-playing decisions you could make to reopen it, but I won't tell you. Yes, no, thank you for that. Yeah, and by the way, that comes up here. Like, if we actually look at it...
A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, reaching from one corner to the other.
So I've already made some of those. Bullet holes in the plaza, bullet holes in the backyard. Yeah, it's clearly tied to the revolution. I feel like I know what it is, but my character is too drug-addled to figure it out. And that's everything over here. So that's pretty cool. Alright. Spirit is eternal. Wait, what is this? The horrific necktie is getting ready for the end game. Buy the spirits from Rosemary. Do not remove it until the magic happens. Wait, I missed this. Stop. Can I put this back on? I like my bow tie because it's +2 drama, but where's horrific necktie? Okay. For the love of God, do not remove it until the magic happens. Okay, I'll keep that on then. Idiot Doom Spiral stole a cool jacket at one point and then lost it again. The story of his life. According to the man, the jacket was last seen somewhere around the boardwalk, maybe at the abandoned fish market. So maybe this ticket taker booth was to get into the fish market. I kind of don't feel like it operates like a carnival. Stop. People paid money to park here. No one would pay now. Okay, so that's what it was. Oh, the boat park, the marina. We think that was. Holy shit, you guys, it's already 9:15. I unfortunately will not be able to go very much later because another early morning tomorrow. Fortunately, not another like 18-hour shift. I want to be accurate with the number. It was actually a 17-hour shift that I worked last Friday. Nothing like that this time. Tiny cages, carefully constructed. Now, if Horrific Necktie wants me to drink the blue preservative juice, I'm not going to do that. Oh, this is Lena's husband.
Here we go.
Yep.
Nice and easy. No way out, little guys. Not out of this jam.
Not unless you're a clever girl.
There's a cylinder on the ground in which the man is arranging some netting. It looks like some kind of trap. He notices you.
I glanced at this guy, that hat, and that backpack. Immediate cryptozoologist.
Who's there? Oh, the police. Hello, officers.
Is that the police? Why are the police here?
Oh, Gary the crypto-fascist. I don't think you and I are going to get along very well.
Don't worry, Gary. I'll handle it.
You must be Morel, the cryptozoologist?
To what do I owe the pleasure?
That's sarcasm. He takes no pleasure from your appearance.
You don't seem too happy to see the RCM.
Oh no, it's all right. I'm just busy. What's this about?
He glances at the cylinder. Was mention made of him holding a cylinder? I'm gonna miss that. Lena sent me. She's been really worried about you and is waiting for you to get back.
Of course. Thank you for passing along the message. That damn waterlock is broken. We can't go all the way around the 881.
Oh, I like this guy's accent too. Yeah, that was me. I broke the water lock with my motor carriage, but it's fixed now. You can go back. Would I withhold the whole story? Kim probably wants me to withhold the whole story. Kim would want me to withhold the whole story. Is there any advantage to sharing this? No.
Oh, good. We should really be getting back. Gary could use a hot shower and a warm bed.
Did he say we can go back now?
He said, shut the fuck up, fascist.
Yes, Gary. We can go soon. If you see Lena, tell her I won't be long.
Lena.
Sir, your wife is waiting for you.
I just have to do one more round. See if the phasmid has taken the bait. Then we go in.
He refastens a bit of netting that has come loose in the wind. Tell me about this phasmid. I wasn't allowed to ask very many questions about the bugs to Lena, but so you tell me about the phasmid. Also, more than me saying, they should all be destroyed.
Which is why we've been knee-deep in the reeds laying traps for it.
Okay, so most of his line was cut off, and I didn't do it either. Well, first of all, it's a damn difficult to find, which is why we've been knee-deep in the reeds laying traps for it. What makes it so difficult to find?
Good question. Being a phasmid of the order Phantasmodea, a ghost insect, it disguises itself as plant matter. In this case, the reeds. Awful lot of reeds around, aren't there? And I suspect it may have also developed other specialised techniques to protect itself from predators, or scientists, in our present case.
What sorts of specialized techniques is the plasmid using to hide itself? This is a very in-depth conversation with somebody that we've really just wanted to go home to his wife.
It's my hypothesis that it has evolved certain electrochemical defences that allow it to interfere with animal perception, impeding pattern recognition, confusing the visual cortex. But I cannot describe how these defences work, much less how they evolved, without studying a live specimen.
Yes, it makes perfect sense. You're beginning to suspect there's something paranatural about this phasmid.
How big is it?
I'm expecting it to be quite giant. One known species of phasmid, called the Megaphasmodea zoensis, is about the size of a grown man's forearm. So,
He leaves the conclusion up to you, and my conclusion is that if there's some sort of a bug or whatever that is that size, it should be exterminated immediately. Why are you so interested in this stick bug? It doesn't seem to be as colorful as some of the other cryptids that I've heard about.
typical rookie assumption. Insects are much more sophisticated creatures than those unversed in zoology give them credit for. Even simply catching a glimpse of the Insulindian phasmid would be the apex of of any cryptozoologist's career. But to study it and its defences, find out how it stayed hidden so long.
He shakes his head. What have you discovered about it so far?
Very little, I'm sorry to say. No one's ever captured a specimen, so all our information is based on first and third-hand accounts.
So no one's ever found one?
Not yet. That's what makes it a cryptid.
Just out of curiosity, if there's no proof of its existence, how do you know it's real?
I know it's real.
The cryptozoologist says, brusquely enough that even he seems taken aback by it.
It's clear that his obsession with the phasmid is driven by something more than the pure pursuit of scientific advancement.
By which I mean, I've heard enough first-hand accounts to believe quite firmly that the Insulindian phasmid is more than mere superstition.
Well, what makes you think it's here in Martinez?
There was a credible sighting here recently. A pair of teenagers described a creature that matched the Insulindian phasmid to an uncanny degree, despite not knowing what it was themselves.
Well, was one of them named Kuno? Because I wouldn't put anything past that kid.
It's the first credible sighting in several decades. Admittedly, it's an unusual location for this species, but with all the sewage runoff upstream, it probably doesn't matter much anymore.
So maybe it's died out. Also, as we proceed, Mia's saying that actually what was originally thought to be damage to their Blu-ray player and PlayStation 3 was actually the television that had shit the bed. So that's why they were getting some sound but no images. So yeah, as she says, the two most expensive items, Chivalry's laptop, which as far as I know was the thing that he did all of his gaming on for Game Night with the Peeps, that's down, and the television. So, as she says, a kind of a good news, bad news kind of thing. That's very disappointing.
I have to resist the thought. Such an extraordinary creature is doubtlessly highly resilient. After all, it's generally thought to be capable of parthenogenesis.
I am trying to remember what parthenogenesis is. I know that I've heard of this. It's not self-procreation, though, is it? I'm going to press enter and Encyclopedia is going to tell me. I do not remember what it means.
He means asexual reproduction.
Oh, what's that?
The females of the species don't need to mate to produce viable eggs. This makes it easier for a species with a small population to survive.
So we're not saying number 2, because getting weirdly judgmental over the reproduction rights of insects is like, I know I'm wearing a fedora, but we're not going that far with it. That's pretty clever.
Yes, Insulindian phasmid is a very clever insect. That's why it's so damn difficult to catch. But as a scientist, I'll try my best to remain dispassionate.
Tell me about the traps. I do not know if this is a quest. If it is, I want to make sure that we get the information.
Well, they may not look impressive, but Lena designed them quite cleverly, so I'm sure they'll do the trick.
She designed the traps?
Yes.
More than some. He admires this about her.
All right, well, how do they work?
Simple. Attracted by the locusts, the phasmid crawls down the funnel and, having eaten its fill, can't get back out. At least, that's the intention. The net isn't a perfect solution, but we didn't want to use anything that might damage the specimen's delicate exoskeleton.
Okay, he just said that they're using locusts as bait.
Locusts. Nearly all known phasmids are herbivores, of course. But we've hypothesized that the Insulindian phasmid might occasionally prey on other insects.
Inside the traps, a number of locusts crawl and tumble over one another in a tiny, chittering swarm. A meat-eating stick insect? Does it pretend to be the reeds as part of its ambush behavior? This seems unlikely.
Okay, well, I mean, animals can be, like, logic here would also doubt the existence of a platypus if it was described to him, so I'm not sure that logic can tell us whether or not this cryptid does or does not exist, but we're going to ask about a carnivorous stick insect being unlikely.
Thank you for your opinion. We have also included plant material in the traps to satiate your skepticism.
Not a big fan of skepticism, this one.
What will you do if the traps don't work?
They'll work, I assure you. The predatory hypothesis, using locusts as bait, accounts for the failure of previous efforts by other teams, which use plants. We have given this some thought.
Okay, let me ask you about
Yes.
something else.
What?
Lena seems pretty eager for you to return. No, let's save that for last. How did you become a cryptozoologist?
I've just always liked animals and puzzles. Searching for cryptids is a bit of both.
He seems reluctant to talk about himself, but he'll open up, if you prod a little.
So... let's go with you're living out your childhood dream. I hope that that doesn't sound demeaning, but... I don't know. If it's what he wanted to do since he's a kid, that makes sense, and I think it's pretty cool.
It's not child's play. Just because I have to traipse through the mud every so often.
Cool. So I was insulting because his eyes have narrowed. Have you ever discovered a cryptid? I don't think I want to say this one. He's already feeling judged, so have you ever discovered a cryptid?
No. Very few cryptids are ever discovered. And not for a lack of trying. To stay hidden is a cryptid's primary quality. It's even in the name, cryptid.
How many have been found?
Of the list of cryptids kept by the Cryptozoological Society of Chemnee, which is 4,082 items long, about 2,000 have been confirmed as hoaxes. 2 are categorized as confirmed discoveries. The rest are in differing stages of discovery, refutation, and data collection.
Only 2 have been proven to be real?
Yes, the Chateauquan forest pygmy, who turned out to be an extinct species of primate, and a cave salamander from Yugograd, who is, honestly, quite unremarkable. It's in a zoo somewhere. We cryptozoologists are brutally honest with ourselves. More so even than the public. With cryptids, most cryptids are hoaxes or they are never found. That does not mean we should stop searching.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, the fact that they've only identified 2 and one of them is apparently just a regular salamander, that means that they are... That's the scientific method. You go and you have an idea and you go test it, and if it doesn't work out, then you've still learned something, and that's kind of what's happening here. They think that some of these sort of unknown animals might exist, and they go looking, and if they cross them off the list, it sounded to me like they're about halfway through their list of potential cryptids, and they've identified 2 and isolated out that the other half don't exist, so that seems pretty cool. Not even 1%. That's not a bad thing, though. Will be the 3rd. I don't even know what to say. That's a small number of discoveries. But a huge amount of success. You successfully proved the ones that don't exist, it sounds like. Let's be encouraging towards him, the Phasmid.
Indeed.
He does
if
not...
our expedition is successful, every paper in the world will report on it. From Revachol to Dushantu. It will be a zoological miracle.
He does not smile, just looks you in the eye. It's a forceful gaze. Like, I guess the idea here is, if you go out to, like, play catch or batting practice or toss around a football or whatever with one of your kids, and the first time that you go out, they're able to catch 20% of the tosses that you give them, and then the second time that you go out a couple days later, they're able to catch 30%, and then the third time that you go out, they're able to catch 15%. That's not backsliding. It's still practice. They still have the passion and the interest to do it. It's not a disappointment. Even if they feel disappointed, one of the things to get over is like, hey, sometimes you do better than other times. And if you keep at it, if you keep working, that's what matters. The fact that you're doing it, that you're trying, that you're practicing, that you're driving yourself, that's what's important. I feel like this is very negative about like, oh, you only found 2 or whatever. But like, you helped learn about the other 2,000, specifically they don't exist. And also, hello to Mio. Sorry, we're having a big conversation about bugs, and specifically bugs that don't exist. As in insects, not glitches.
He has clearly done his math on this. There is no surprising him or swaying his opinion.
Yeah, nor do I want to. Okay, I'm not going to say this. Thank you for explaining that. Now about something else.
Yes?
Lena seems pretty eager for you to return.
And I'm eager to return to her, I assure you. But I can't leave before we finish with these traps.
Yeah, Mio, I hope that you're having a great Thursday.
My wife understands that just as well as anyone.
He looks south, where Lena would be.
Come on, Morale. We've been soaking out here for days. It's time to go back.
And leave the traps? Absolutely not. I won't let Lena down.
Come on, she wants us back. I'm soaked up to my nuts over here. We'll both catch reed crabs if we don't dry out soon.
Won't let Lena down? Sounds like the cryptozoologist's wife shares a special connection to the Phasmid somehow.
All right, let's hit it. I didn't know the Phasmid was so important to Lena.
Of course it's important to her. She's seen it. A verified sighting, on record. One of only 4 this century, and it's hers.
Mio's saying, not a big bug fan, especially the flying ones. Oh, then you're going to hate this one. Reportedly, it's as long as your forearm. Which, yikes. I wouldn't have traps. I'd have a flamethrower out here. She sighted the Phasmid?
Yes. That's how we first came to know one another, in fact. But that's her story to tell, not mine.
Needless to say, you must ask her about the mysterious Phasmid.
Suffice to say, it's long been our dream to find proof of the Insulindian Phasmid together. I can't abandon course now.
Another cough into his fist this time. Mio, also, did you happen to see any of the Summer Games Festival today? There was a lot of, like, sort of pixel arty or very artistically styled indie games shown off, but I know that a lot of people were very excited about Battlefield 2142. I was excited to find out that it has no single-player campaign, because that immediately saves me $60 to $70. I've never been a big fan of the campaigns in most of the Battlefield games. I really like Battlefield Bad Company 2. That was a very fun game. But the campaign mode is the only thing that I'm interested in. Like, I just don't really want to play multiplayer with like 127 other people. So yeah, no campaign makes that a very easy pass for me, but I know that both Tachir and Patikin were very interested in it. Mio saying missed it, unfortunately. Well, on Patikin's channel, if you or anybody else missed it, Patikin, I'm sure, has it up in his VOD, so you'd be able to watch the whole thing and get the commentary from both Tashir and Patikin, because from what I saw, it was a very fun show. Yeah, as Mio says, no campaign is a no-no for me. Yeah, very much the same thing. You should just keep up. No, I understand. I don't give up on things either. Yeah, this is... Look, she's worried about him. We're gonna go report his whereabouts. If she still wants him back, regardless of whatever else, we'll come get him. But I'm not gonna tell him that he has to go right now. I feel like this is important to both of them. She just wanted to make sure that he's okay. He is. Let's go tell her that, and then we'll have them work it out.
Good. A good quality to have, both for a police officer and an experimental zoologist.
Okay, let's talk about specific cryptids.
All right. What cryptids precisely? I usually discuss these things with specialists, so I don't know what...
We would have to discuss. He wants to say, but decides against it. You need to ask him about specific cryptids. Cryptids you've heard about from Lena, or his friend Gary. He won't just talk.
Okay, I've not talked to Gary at all. I know about the most dangerous cryptid, the gnome of Garoma. I'm very happy that my character remembers that, because I sure don't. That was like 2 episodes ago.
Formerly the most dangerous, yes. But do you know the most dangerous living cryptid?
He doesn't want to make it feel like you knowing it is some big deal.
Living? No. I'm not going to try to guess, because I don't know anything about cryptids at all, because Kim wouldn't let me ask about them. That must be the evil apes duking it out in the giant ball. Nope. Living? ? No.
The most dangerous cryptid is a carnivorous ruminant, known colloquially as the dread moose.
The dread moose?
Yes. The dread moose subsists entirely on flesh. It has even been known to dig up fresh graves in search of sustenance.
If this is not an SCP, it should be. The dread moose. What does the... No, does it also attack people?
Human remains have been found deep in the forest, torn apart, then trampled into the mulch by large hooves. Infer from that what you will.
What does the dread moose look like?
Just like an ordinary Arden moose.
Then how can you tell if it's the ordinary or dread kind?
You can't. That's what makes it so dreadful and hard to identify.
It's an undercover moose.
A moose that looks like any other moose. What's going on here? He's kidding, right?
Samuel is saying a moose once bit my sister. I am not surprised. I don't know very much about animals or nature or the world in which we live, but one thing that I've heard pretty consistently is that mooses, I'm gonna go with mooses, are assholes. They're very territorial. They don't want to be bothered. They will stomp or like antler you to death if you piss them off, and it doesn't take very much to piss them off. So I don't know the exact circumstance under which your sister was bitten, but yeah, one of my goals is to not interact with mooses, Bill Maher, anyone who works in the McMahon wrestling family. They can all just stay over there, and I'll stay over here, and we'll share the planet just fine, very, very far apart from one another. Uh-oh, did I miss a reference? Because Sammerlander's now saying recently, really? Mio Man is also voting for Meese as being the... No, Mio, that's the plural of mouse. And Sammerlander points Angel at the start of Holy Grail. I have never seen... Well, I haven't seen that part of Monty Python, the Holy Grail. Samlander, you must have been there. We've talked about Holy Grail as well. Holy Grail was what convinced me for a great many years that there was no such thing as British humor. I'm not completely sure about this dread moose. I'm 100% behind the dread moose. I utterly believe that it exists. Well, so here's the thing. Logic says that it doesn't. And I would much rather play into, like, making friends with this guy, but no, I can't lie to him.
The bodies found in the forest are just one piece of physical evidence. There's more.
Okay, what's the other evidence? Also, Chivalry Scene, there's a horror movie called Moose. I was not aware of that.
The recent surge in the moose population has hidden carnivores. The dread moose are effectively removing competition for both themselves and their evolutionary cousins.
So not only is it an undercover moose, it's a moose conspiracy theory. Why would it need to hide its carnivorous nature? What exactly is the relationship between the carnivorous moose and the regular moose? Well, I mean, they're camouflage, aren't they? Like, if the carnivorous moose ate all the regular moose, then the only thing left would be carnivorous mooses, and then you'd always know about it. So they're using the regular mooses to, like, hide their numbers. They're like whisperers. Are there any reliable witnesses? Why would it need to hide its carnivorous nature so they don't get hunted?
Moose are already being hunted for sport. Can you imagine what would happen if they came to be viewed as predators?
What exactly is the relationship? It's camouflage.
The carnivorous moose are a very young species, the result of a genetic mutation that fared well in the process of natural selection. It makes sense that such a majestic animal with natural weapons, antlers, would come to rule the forest. The only strange thing is that it took so long.
Are there any reliable eyewitnesses accounts of a moose killing other animals for food? Also, Mio Man is pulling out the Benny Hill collection as an example of British humor. I will say this. We talked about this on a recent stream. I am a big fan of Shaun of the Dead. I am a bigger fan of The World's End. I think it was Azaric that corrected the title of that. I know that I've seen other things from Great Britain that were very funny. I actually really enjoyed, I'm not sure that it was funny that I was laughing at it, but one of the more recent adaptations of Robin Hood was a lot of fun from the BBC. Let's see. I'd have to think about it. Benny Hill I haven't seen very much of. I'm familiar with Wackety Sax, and that's about it. But yeah, Monty Python stuff just sort of leaves me a little bit flat. That's not really my thing. I'm trying to think. I know that I've seen other fun and funny British stuff. Nothing's coming to mind right now. 28 Days Later wasn't funny, but I really like that too. Okay, anyway. Are there any reliable witnesses?
One slaughterhouse at the outskirts of the woods in Vasa reported that its staff kept seeing moose in the distance. The moose would just stare at the building, as though they were waiting for something. Its eyes bloodshot and full of cruelty.
Ooh, that sounds suspicious.
And that's not all. Some of the slaughterhouse apprentices went hiking by a nearby creek and saw a moose nibbling on an unidentified carcass.
This isn't something unique. Various species of deer have been known to scavenge when plant food is scarce.
Anyway, there is more than enough evidence to justify a thorough search for the dread moose. Let's close the subject before it turns into an argument.
Here is a man who has had more than his fair share of heated arguments and would, surprising as it may seem, prefer not to have any more.
Just tell me about a cool cryptid, any cryptid. Hold on. Let's change the subject, because I want to talk to Gary first.
By all means.
Yeah, okay, so the other thing is that he doesn't seem well, so what if we check the traps for you?
I didn't expect you to take such an interest in our work here, officer.
He looks at you with obvious surprise. Cryptozoology and detective work are very similar. Yeah, we're going to say that one.
Yes, indeed. Both require a great deal of research, attention to detail, and, above all, persistence.
Where are the traps? They appear to be immediately right here at his feet. What do I do if there's a phasmid in one of the traps? Yeah, let's start with where are they?
There are 4 in total, One is to the south, on this little peninsula, by the boathouses there. It's very near. Another we set in Land's End, to the northeast. It's behind a small sand dune there, on your way to the old radio tower, after the church. The third is set near the canal, where you crossed, by a concrete slab. A big thicket of reeds going up the slope, and among them...
He gestures to the trap in front of him.
You should check at least one of those before returning to this one, since I just said it. This one's more of a technicality, but still, better safe and stupid than sorry.
That seems like a lot. Do we really have time for this extracurricular venture?
Doesn't seem like that much, Kim. It's just walking around and just looking at the traps. The pursuit of knowledge is its own justification.
Is it?
He doesn't look too convinced, but the small shrug indicates why not.
If you think it's important, you have been right before.
That's what he's saying. Okay, got it. What do I do if we see a phasmid?
Bring it to me at once. Just make sure the trap is closed tight.
So Ricardo is going to sleep. Thanks for the entertainment and have a good night, Angel. Well, Ricardo, again, thank you very much for your Fortnite stream the other day. And I did see, I really like that thing that Moo had said about like when Grumpy gets home, he's like, is Ricardo home? I want to see if he's playing Fortnite. Also, I'm curious if you have another sort of like story or adventure game waiting in the wings, because we had a lot of fun watching Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy. Or Curse of the Mummy. I think it's Cursed Mummy. So I was just wondering if you had something else like that lined up. Oh, wait, no, actually, another thing about you've been doing the DLC packs for Grand Theft Auto 4. I don't think those are done yet. Are they? I don't think so. Mio is saying... Oh, wait. Mio was saying great movies so far. Mia was saying... So we have both Mio and Mia. Mia is saying, Shiv just told me that there's squirrels in Europe who kill deer and eat their brains, trying to deftly deflect from Angel's anti-python stance. I've also heard that there are squirrels in Minnesota that jump out of trash cans and attack Game Informer journalist and game critic Kim Wallace, which are stories that she tells during replay and some of the super replay that is very, very funny. According to Kim Wallace, at certain times of the year, every time she walks by any trash can, a squirrel jumps out and tries to get her, and it's very funny.
He's not comfortable with the possibility that you'll claim the find, but he's lying about this even to himself.
I am not going to claim the find. I'm going to claim the murderer when we find them, but what if I encounter a phasmid in the wild?
That's highly unlikely, officer. But in the event you do, I'll spray you with a pheromone mixture I developed. It's made of musk and research chemicals. The pheromone should attract the insect to you, or at least prevent it from bolting at the sight of you. It's quite potent. Will last you about a week.
Lay it on me.
Wise choice.
He douses you with the odd-smelling spray and gives you a satisfied nod.
I hope you're not buying this. He dispenses it without letting you touch the canister, so it would be precious like holy water.
It is precious. A single dose cost me 50 real to develop. Not that I expect you to understand self-financing one's own research.
He looks at the lieutenant with disdain, then puts the spray back into his pocket. All right, let's get to it.
Right, which means you two can pack up and go back to the whirling.
Whatever he thinks about this detour, it's clear that these men are exhausted and in need of assistance.
Oh, we might have lost our opportunity to talk to Gary.
Finally, someone's talking sense.
Thank you for your help. Gary and I will start breaking down camp. If you have any more questions, now's the time to ask. We'll be gone once you get to it.
Okay, let's go talk to Gary real quick. I suspect that we can talk to Gary at the Whirling in Rags, but that's a guess. These soggy logs smell of ignition fluid. They still won't light up.
Hello, I'm Gary. Very generous of you to help us out, officer. Yellow man. I mean, officer.
Oh, fuck this guy. Can you imagine being that's your first reaction to seeing somebody, to meeting somebody for the first time, to... Oh, I knew right away I wasn't going to get along with this guy.
The lieutenant raises his eyebrows slightly and takes out his notebook. Yellow man. Interesting. This is something to ask him about, after a little probing first.
I'm just waiting for my friend Morel to finish up with his insect traps so we can return to civilization.
Not a lover of the great outdoors?
I like nature, just not this bloody coast. It's mostly drunks and degenerates that come here.
Yeah, I can think of one.
Degenerates. This man respects authority too much. To see the truth inscribed upon thine own visage. Pretend thou art a paragon of virtue.
I am neither of those things, I can assure you. I'm a by-the-books, clean-as-a-whistle officer of the law. I'm not even tempted to touch intoxicants. Sure, let's hit it.
I've been tempted on occasion, but someone has to stay strong for Revacol.
He appears to mispronounce that. His gaze shifts to the pile of soggy logs at his feet. I like the phrase soggy logs.
He pronounces Revacol with a hard K, unlike other people. Serious question time. This man is no innocent. No one is.
Oh, we can ask him about the mug. Serious question time. What's the most serious question that I have? Do you know anything about the man hanged behind the whirling rags? There's no reason for us to think that he would. But let's go with that.
Oh, so that's what the RCM in Martinez is about. Great. Great to hear someone's finally taking care of that.
He nods in sincere approval.
So you do know something about it?
No. Nothing. He was some kind of mercenary. But everyone here knows that. I'm just glad to hear you're looking into it. That's all.
He didn't kill him or anything, but there's something going on here.
You said Revacol?
I like to pronounce it the hard way. The old way. The Vespertine way.
He nods solemnly.
He winks at you, trying to relay some hidden message, inviting you to mispronounce it too, perhaps. It's odd. It's a secret rite. A very fringe nationalist handshake, probably.
Let's ask... Are you a cryptozoologist too?
No. I help Morel with research sometimes, and I've learned some things along the way. But I don't usually go in for picnics like this on my own.
What does he do then? This feels like a good opportunity to dominate him.
Sounds good to me. What do you do then, if not cryptozoology?
Oh, this and that.
As long as you're making ends meet and advancing your career objectives. Sounds intriguing.
Sometimes.
See, he's being evasive. Shake him up. Show him who's boss.
That's not an answer.
I just didn't want to bore you with unnecessary detail, officer. I work as a special courier. You know, urgent deliveries, overnight deliveries, deliveries to out-of-the-way locations.
What kinds of things are you delivering?
Oh, I don't know the contents, officer. Part of my job is discretion.
That's it? Let's talk about something else?
Yes, officer?
Really weird that we just decided to stop asking him about that. You were surprised to see my colleague, Lieutenant Kitsuragi.
Not many Sealites here, or anywhere, other than Sail. I meant no offense, truly.
Yeah, you just sort of addressed him by the color of his skin instead of, "Hi, how are you?"
Do you remember how, when we met Measurehead and I said the next races will be a really good one?
Yes.
Well, this is that racist.
Well, Kim's taking it in stride. Well, he's more cogent than Measurehead. I don't necessarily mean that in a good way, but at least I understand what this guy's saying. Our lucky racist. Okay, let's go with that. Yes, our lucky racist.
Hey, man. All I meant was there are not many Sealites around here. I'm just stating a fact.
The lieutenant here is a native of Revachol.
Oh, yes. Of course he is. I was just speaking about his connections. Let's change the subject, okay?
He flashes an impenetrable smile.
Sounds like some conspiracy topic. You might be able to discuss it with him when the lieutenant isn't here, if you can remember it.
I don't want to talk to this guy, though. Let's ask him about the mug.
My mug? Why would you think that?
You said yellow man. That's not something many people go around saying.
Really? I hear it all the time. All in jest, of course. No offense meant to anyone.
Ooh, I believe you. You look the kind of man who knows it's a crime to lie to an officer. No, I don't even want to give the possibility that we're letting him off the hook. Did I mention the mug was found at this? But if I say this, he's never going to... If I say this, he's never going to own the mug. I have to go with this. I'm only asking because it's a crime to lie to an officer. Because if it's his, then he was at the scene of the crime.
Okay, I admit it. I threw the mug away in the trash container behind the hostel. I know I shouldn't have, and I am very sorry, officer.
He pauses.
You're not going to find me, are you?
I do want information, but I also want... he is not going to give me 100 real. Although, if I try to fine him for 100, he might try to bribe me. I'm just going to say I want information.
Whew. Thank you. You won't regret this. I won't use another man's property to dump my garbage ever again.
Here's what I'm thinking. I feel like I could have gotten some money out of him, but then it would have made him very, very unwilling to help in any other way. And more than anything, I need information, even from a racist, sack bag like this guy.
I don't know what got into me, really. Work has been stressful lately. Damn Koiko's price dumping us out of competition.
What did you do, Gary?
Nothing. Just answering some questions. Helping out the law.
Did you put the clothes of a murder victim, the man who was hanged, into that trash container? Let's focus on that. How he got into the trash container is its own question, because remember that it was locked, but I want to know about the clothing.
Officer, please. Let me explain. It's not like that.
Oh, do.
I was only cleaning up. I live right across the yard from where he was hanged, and I saw him stripped naked. All the clothes lying around in the yard, smelling. People are animals, you know?
Yeah, what happened?
Then I came out to clean up the rags, because no one else would. I put them into the Whirling's trash, along with a broken mug, admittedly.
He changes his mind mid-sentence.
Okay. I was coming to throw the mug away, and, well, I threw the mug there and the clothes too.
Right. It was just civic duty.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. Civic duty.
As he shifts uncomfortably, a series of clicks, like the clinking of glass beads against one another as they roll across a hardwood floor. You've heard this sound before.
See, this is why I don't want to sacrifice any perception if I don't have to. What's that strange sound? Yeah, let's focus on strange sound.
What sound?
The clinking I just heard when you moved. Or, no, hold on. Authority said that we could dominate him. Don't mess with me. I think you know what I'm talking about.
I haven't the slightest. There's lots of weird stuff out here in the reeds, though. Insects, trash. Could be the wind shifting some garbage nearby.
No, goddammit, the sound.
What sound? Really?
He fans his arms out slowly, and this time his motions are soundless.
There's lots of weird stuff out here in the reeds.
Damn it.
Insects, trash. Could be the wind shifting some garbage nearby.
I bet there's another perception roll that I'm failing in there. And that's why, like, I don't have the information. I don't have any memory of, like, the glass beads thing that it described the sound as. How did you get into the trash container?
I know a guy who works with the trash collection services, CS Municipal. He gave me a master key for the trash containers of Martinez.
Why would you need to get into everybody's trash?
So I can use the Whirling's trash compactor to store my own stuff. Garbage disposal is expensive as hell. The damn Hemians run it like a mob. I'm sorry, okay? I thought I could cut costs. I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have disgraced myself.
Disgraced? No need for the histrionic, sir. It was, after all, just a trash container.
He studies his reaction. Gary doesn't answer.
Yeah, I feel like Gary's the kind of person who doesn't acknowledge people that he doesn't, that he's not predisposed to listen to. He seems like that kind. You wouldn't know anything about the victim's missing armor, would you?
Armor? No. I mean, yes. Of course. I know he was wearing armor, but I don't know anything about it.
An infant could see he's not telling the truth, but he's too scared to admit more wrongdoing.
Let's move on for now.
I hope I could help your investigation, in my small way.
%. I'm not going to succeed at this. Composure. Is there anything else that I can put into, Yeah, composure is not my strong suit for sure. And I don't want to put any points into it right now. I actually got 2 points that I have not spent because I want to go talk to Titus. I'm basically saving up for that conversation, which should be the next thing that I do, maybe after checking the traps. It's a white check. You know something? We got a 1 out of 5 chance. Let's roll it.
Is he? He's looking comfortable enough. Maybe it was just beads. Sounded like beads. But what kind of beads might a man like Gary be hiding beneath his clothes?
I feel like this is the most natural extension of this conversation. Are you currently sporting some anal beads?
You wouldn't be able to hear if you were wearing anal beads.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
Please excuse my colleague's humor. Working this murder case is taking a toll on us both. You don't quite have to answer that yet.
What he means is, working on the case is taking a toll on you. And working with you is taking a toll on him.
Of course. Of course.
Gary forces a grin, no doubt hiding some colossal anal beads up his butt as he does so. Wow. Okay, now the good news is I didn't make it harder next time, at least not that we can see. Thank you for your cooperation. Alright, I'm going to click on this. These heavy military blockades are riddled with bullet holes and are crumbling. Okay, and let me just go look at this. Oh, and that little canister over there. Now, unfortunately, oops, it is 10 p.m.
that
here.
patch of reeds over there. It's a great place to hide something. Kind of out of the way, being so close to the water.
I can't see anything interesting.
You don't have a reason to. Yet.
What is this about?
Nothing. Just a hunch. The hunch passes, leaving you there, by the old boy bobbing in the water. Time to go.
Huh. A buoy bobs in the water. The number on it says 11. Okay. So that's clearly going to be something that we come back to. Also, more orbs. It's almost impossible to get a fire going this near to the ocean. And we got 45 cents. Okay, so that's going to be where I have to call it. So we're going to come in here, and we're just going to do a real save. I'm going to do a real save the whole way through today's episode. Yep, save over.